Yeah, both. I mean, I work with some partners that are super cool, other partners that are just awful.
Yeah.
So it's really just kind of like, who you get set up with, like, on the case, and kind of who you got set up with in, like, your practice group. But I got a good little, like, mix of people. But, I mean, they don't have, like, a lot of, like, hobbies or, I mean, a lot of people just work all the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, like, the culture, which is just a little crazy to me. And so it's, like...
Yeah.
It's nice to have, like we're just talking about, having a balance and stuff where you can do like a couple of different things and like still work hard, but then have like, the rest of the day or the evening or the weekend to like go out and go for a hike or go for a run or whatever it might be, where I don't really see that as much from some of like the other people that I work with, and they just...
Do you think
Yeah, actually, let's just hop into it and then go to all these questions.
We're already hopped in. We're
okay,
good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to We Are Dynamize. This is episode 10, lucky number 10. We're here with our good friend and athlete and attorney and fucking man does it all, Justin Peters over here. We're already talking about it, and he's an attorney and talking about keeping a balanced lifestyle and a balanced life. Do you think, though, real quick, back to what we were just talking about, being that kind of like energized attorney doing cool shit, do you think that probably helps you? Could that help you get more jobs or look better in that field because you're not the traditional looking attorney, so to speak? I feel like that would help you. I feel like in my case, picking out an attorney, I'd be like, yo, this guy has an actual fucking life and he's great at what he does.
Well, after you build the credibility within the industry and you build your own practice and your own firm and all that other shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, of course, when you go introduce yourself, like, maybe to the first time, people have that kind of, like, first opinion of you, you know,
impression.
Like, good impression, but at the same time also maybe like, wow, look at this bro, or, like, it's kind of a double thing. It can be, like, a double-edged sword,
It's just like us,
So it's like, oh, this, who's this kid think that he is, with, like, the slick hair or whatever, like, wearing crazy socks or whatever, and then muscles, and then, so you got to kind of back it up with, like, doing the grunt work and like actually like knocking out some like solid
so I mean just like how us, like, we pull out the business aspect and then once you get to know the person more, then you can get a little more, so to speak, bro.
Totally.
Give them a little more insight on your life, and then you guys can actually connect on real life shit, which helps. I feel like would help your job a lot more, because that helps us a lot more in the business world. Is we're all businessy at first, and then we can relate to everyday people, and then it kind of evolves from there, right?
Yeah. I mean, go for it.
Oh, no, I feel like with us, a lot of the times the breakdown is they almost think we're goofier than we really are at first. And then it comes to the knowledge game, and I'm like, yeah, you really want me to break down the fucking industry for you?
It depends. I think at the beginning we were way more professional at first, and now we're at a point where we really don't give a fuck. Yeah. And we go into those meetings a little more nonchalant, or like, not that we don't care, but just way more relaxed and just nonchalant. And then when it's knowledge time, we're like, all right, dude, like let's talk about it. Let's go for it,
Yeah.
So you're probably more professional and then nonchalant.
I mean, I just got sworn in on June 1st, so like I'm a newly minted attorney, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like at least in the legal world especially, it's like you got to cut your teeth, pretty early on, and at least for a year or two, maybe 3-5 years, So it's like, so I still have the confidence, and I like present myself with a confident kind of like demeanor when I first like meet the partners or who I'm working with or opposing counsel. But at the same time, like I got to realize that like I don't know that much shit, in the overall scope of things. I haven't. Most of the projects that I'm doing will be the first time that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And so that there's always that learning curve, and like to be overconfident without actually like knowing what the hell you're doing, then of course like on the back end you could screw yourself over, because then you're not going to ask for that advice. You're not going to like be open to criticism, and then sure enough, like you're going to screw yourself
then
over.
It's just ignorance.
Yeah, totally. So I mean, there's like that fine line where you want to you want to act like that you're presentable and like can be in front of clients and like hold a conversation with people, but also at the same time be like, it's my first time doing this, or like, so like, I need a little guidance.
You have so many new cases back to back, so every single case is different and unique. Totally. For us, it's like, okay, we're doing the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, break down other companies, look at other aspects. It's just like, okay, here, tell me them. And I'll tell you exactly where they're getting their shit from, how much you're paying for it, the breakdowns. I could tell you their margins. I could look at everything else. And now even on the manufacturing side of things, it's just like first getting into it, I knew nothing about the metal or the steel world and fabrication and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just repetition at this point, and everyone in the industry, it's a bunch of old-ass men who are lazy.
Yeah.
It is really the only way to explain it. And so it's just like they're either in the coffee industry, they're either bougie coffee shops that are having a timer on their espresso, and it's just like, once you do something, you know how to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Why do you have a timer? Why are you doing every single thing so by the book? Because someone who truly knows the industry is able to do it without using a damn timer.
Totally. Yeah. No, like I went to Coffee Fest one, like I think it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
With my girlfriend, she like got us tickets, and it was a whole different world. Like I'm snobby on coffee, like don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like what?
No,
the fuck,
there's snobs, and then
so
there's like
goofy.
the industry snobs, and
Yeah.
it's so bullshit, dude. Like,
you know, they were like, do you taste this freaking nut? Like, oh my, I mean,
You know, there's
guys
over
probably,
4,000 different flavor profiles of coffee, right?
Dude, they're like cold brew.
Do you
like,
taste the
tasting.
testicles in here?
Yeah, that's what it felt like, and I was just like, I don't know, it tastes good, but I mean, you know, like I can tell bad
Amateur.
coffee from good
You,
coffee.
you don't know that?
Yeah,
No.
and you know, and how they're like pouring it and the exact
yeah.
like way they pour it, and just like
fucking wrist.
yeah,
wrist.
right.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like,
on it.
I mean, I guess, man, but you know, at a certain point, it's like you got to just do the damn.
You just
thing,
gotta
you know?
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many people who hop in and try and send us an email. Oh, how many grams would you recommend for this? Let's go. Well, this is the industry standard, but do whatever the fuck you want. Whatever tastes
Yeah,
good.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, well,
Like-
it comes down to, like, I mean, do you want your coffee stronger? Do you want it, I mean, yeah, do you want it bolder? Do you want it lighter? You know, how do you like it? You know, because
Totally.
we can tell you a recommendation, but Google can also tell you the same shit I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
You know?
And every like a different whatever site you go on is gonna tell you something a little bit different, right?
Yeah, it
Like,
might be
yeah.
a gram different. or-
Stumptown has like their version, and like, you know, all these different
Exactly.
goofy like coffee companies that are like, this is the exact like gram amount that you should be putting in the beans, and like this is how
Yeah.
you should grind it, and this is the timer you should set for whatever the you know, the French press, and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So I got a question for you. So going into law school and everything, is that something you wanted to do when you were a kid? Or how did you get into that? Were you
That's a
like,
great
I want to be a
question.
professional skater? Like, what was your what was your upbringing in that sense? And then
Yeah.
how'd you transition into law? Like, what made you
I'll tell you.
sign up for that much school?
So yeah, a lot of schools.
Because
for sure.
you're hanging out with some college dropouts right now, man.
Yeah.
There's 2 people in the room who graduated, 2 people who dropped out.
That's all good, man. You know, school, I don't think, like, most of my education hasn't come from school, you know. It's just
Right,
like
no, you
most-
learn a lot more. Yeah.
So school has just been, like, a freaking check off the box to, like, get in the interview, which is
Right.
so silly. Like, especially in law in particular, like, you really don't learn shit until you get into the actual
Really?
real world. Yeah.
I feel like you're diving into so many fucking books in law school.
You
My
are,
buddy's in
but,
law
I
school
mean,
right now,
it's
and I'm like, woo.
in one year out the other, you know. You learn it for,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
for
class
yeah,
or
you
the
memorize
bar.
the
I mean,
Ks. one
Yeah,
time.
that was me getting my captain's license. How
Oh.
much dumb shit I had to learn that I
Totally.
don't remember right now that I would never use.
Yeah.
Like 90% of it.
Totally. You learn 16 whole different areas of law going into the bar, and I only practice in one. So I learned like 15
Yeah, you have to
other
learn all of them
ones
that don't matter.
up until, you know, the only one that might be like good moving forward is like community property if you ever get married in California. That's like the only one that might be applicable. The rest is like bullshit that you probably will never like pay attention to, unless you have a bunch of people that are talking about riots and civil unrest and stuff, and you're like, well, actually I know con law, and I know that like that is bullshit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So don't tell me on Instagram like, you know, what the law is.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know,
love
a lot
that.
of the social justice warriors out there, you know, just suddenly all civil attorneys. But anyways, upbringing, let's see.
I
Dude,
love
that's
it,
that's
dude.
fucking
I
great.
think I was so.
Because
Yeah.
this has kind of been some bullshit, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. So
Really?
at least what we think, you
Really?
know. That's interesting. I like your point of view on that because everyone thinks they're a fucking attorney apparently. Because I know damn well I'm not.
Yeah.
But I know how you should act, I guess,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and what's right and what's wrong. But it's funny you seeing everything from an attorney point of view, actually knowing the breakdown of law
Yeah,
and
I mean,
seeing everything go down.
It's just interesting. I mean, I think, of course, like, especially with what just went on with the riots and the George Floyd case and everything in particular. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to get into that, but it's just one of those things where you see that and it's so, like, emotional, you know, and then everyone's just like, he's guilty, you know, everyone's guilty, and then you're like, yes, he is guilty, but then when you start putting it on, like, these other cops and stuff and you know the law, it's like, it is a little bit more difficult to really make like those determinations.
And that's
And
the
have
problem
you
that
seen-
people don't understand though, is everyone wants this shit to happen in an hour
yeah,
when there's a lot of investigating that has to go down into something like that. You can't just
Totally.
pin everyone with it. If they
Yeah.
wanted to pin everyone, there'd be 30 people going down right now for that.
yeah.
Oh, and now all the new videos are being released and people are responding so many different ways. Like, oh, well, he was complaining he couldn't breathe, and now they're saying he actually died when he got to the hospital. He wasn't pronounced dead on scene, and
Yeah.
you could go at it a million different directions.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's a giant rabbit hole to a certain extent, but you
Yeah.
can't just say, hey, you know what? We think you did something bad, so fuck it. You're going to jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or getting sentenced for 20 plus years when it's you were there. Yeah. Did fucked up shit happen to a certain extent? Yeah.
Totally.
But at the same point, you can't just everyone needs to go to jail. Screw 'em. Screw 'em.
Yeah. No, and then you just see, I mean, what kind of rubbed me the wrong way was the only thing is that when, like, the district attorney or you know, the attorney general goes back and then presses the lawsuits,
Yeah.
you know, as second degree and first degree, you know, and ups the charges from, like, the lower, lesser degrees
Probably
because of public
how
outrage.
public outrage, exactly.
You know, and it's like, granted, that was a terrible video, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But, like, it's and maybe
Well, it should never
maybe,
happen. Yeah,
Maybe
for
these
sure.
maybe these officers honestly have to fall on the sword to like make an opinion, you know, which is like really sad that that's where it's come to. But or just like to make an example, but at the same time, like you're innocent until proven guilty, and like I don't know if you can put that guilt on like the other two officers that were standing by.
So
you know?
I have a really so I'm watching this new series I just started.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
it's called The Vikings. I would definitely
Dude,
recommend
I
it.
love the
Are you
Vikings.
have you seen that?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so I just started watching
The
it, bro. I
Vikings.
just started watching it last night. I got 7 episodes in.
What
last
the
night.
fuck?
Okay, it's like
It's
Game
so
of Thrones,
good.
bro. You gotta watch this shit. I'm telling you, you're gonna
I
fucking
grew
dig
the
it.
beard out because of Vikings.
Dude,
I
you're
was
gonna
trying
dig
to
it.
grow a freaking Ragnar beard. I couldn't do it.
Dude, you're
but-
gonna. Dig
I could grow a
It's-
couple pubes for sure.
Yeah, I pubes,
Okay,
exactly.
so in the first season, I'm on episode 7 now. How they went about law back then, so to speak, is fucking mind blowing. Like, so basically, if say you killed someone, right,
Yeah.
and no one was in the room, no one knew about it, you would stand trial in front of the whole town, right? And the king or the leader of that group or whatever would just take a poll around the room, like, is he guilty? Is he not guilty? What's good? No one's there to fucking judge it, so
Yeah.
you could be fucked. Even if it wasn't you, you know, or if something else happened, or if like, so like in this case, in this show, there's like a lot of rape going on and stuff like that because it's way back in the day and men were the power horses essentially, right? And so for one example, so this chick, they were raiding this town. This chick was getting raped by one of the guys, and then the chick told him to stop. Okay, then the guy went on to was trying to rape her, and she's like a fucking badass. Okay. Ends up killing the fucker.
Is that Lagatha?
Yeah. Okay.
Lagatha's the shit.
Oh, dude,
My
badass.
girlfriend's gonna love this Viking reference.
Yeah, this shit's sick. So ends up killing the dude. Okay.
Yeah.
They get back to the town after this raid, and it's the king's brother who gets killed. Okay. And he's like, "Where's my brother?" And the chick's husband stands up for her and says, "I killed him." And he's like, "Who else was there?" And he was like, "Nobody." And then basically they're at trial or whatever, and then the fucking wife comes out who actually killed him. Is like, "No, fuck that. I killed him. Don't pin this on him. I killed him." No one was in the room. But then someone who didn't that didn't actually see it, stepped forth and said, "I was in the room, saw the whole thing. It happened." And then she got off free. But the king was trying to fuck him and say, "That didn't happen. You killed him in cold blood. You're going to be killed for it now." And it was just very interesting to see how law worked back then because it was so much more just yes or no, bro. You did it, you didn't do it. And if you had a homie, it's very weird because if you had a homie, right, that he could say he was there. Technically, it was weird. I mean, you could probably talk kind of more because you've probably seen more seasons and shit. I'm sure that happens a lot throughout the series.
Dude,
You know what I'm trying to talk about? Yeah. Do you know what I'm trying to say though? It's
Hell
just
yeah.
a lot different. It's a lot. I think it was almost.
Well, how about just public executions like they did?
Yeah,
there?
I think
like,
it was. I think it
that
worked
would
out
be
a lot
crazy
better.
World if that was still the case. Like
I think it worked out a lot better though, dude. But there was a lot of fuck shit that's going on in that series right now.
Totally.
I mean, there's a lot of gnarly shit.
Yeah,
Like basically, I mean, the
but-
king does whatever the fuck he wants, you know. But the king ends up getting waxed. But it's
But
very
imagine
interesting
if
how they
public
handled it.
executions were like still a thing, you know? And like, I mean, we're kind of killing people anyways just by throwing them in prison and then for the rest of their life.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
That's a public
it's,
execution.
It's like, what's worse? And also we have to feed them and care for them. You know, a prisoner like that, it costs like $40,000 a year to keep a prisoner just like
they make more
away.
money than the average home,
you know,
in the U.S.
Exactly, and I mean it's all privatized, so it's all privatized companies, and taxpayers are just paying for these people that are just living dead people. Anyways.
They're in there until for the rest of their life, and it's just like,
and it's not, and
we're
only getting more filled up. You know, and no one is coming out of prison like changed people. If anything, they're coming out of prison worse. You know, so I don't know. Public execution would be like a pretty.
It would set a standard really quickly, though, and people would figure it the fuck out. Yeah. People probably aren't going to like us saying this shit right now, but hey,
Dude,
bottom line is,
if
you fuck up and you say you rape and kill several fucking people and you're just fucked up in the head, why the fuck are you still living? What does it do for us to actually go sit in a prison? Like, nothing at all.
It's super interesting, too, because that series, like, the very first episode of the series, there's a guy accused right away. And he's like, and I honestly believe the guy. The guy ends up dying. He gets killed or publicly executed. But I really don't think the dude did it. So it's a double-edged sword because, like, I could straight accuse you. I could probably kill somebody in that type of scenario. And I could accuse you straight off.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't back it, if fucking 10 people in the town didn't already like you, 10 people already in the town already liked you, they're like, did he kill him? Everybody put their fucking hand up. Then you're dead. You're taking the fall for some shit you didn't do, you know? So it's really interesting how they handle it.
That's where
really
attorneys
cool.
come in and the whole entire breakdown. And that's the justice system.
Just like, you know, hey, take that guy right now. Let's go burn his ass. You know,
no, the way they proved it, though, was really interesting.
But, like, how many of the guys who are in prison right now, who there is 100% proof, video footage of them saying killing someone, and they do it without just cause, then it's just like, okay, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This person did some fucked up shit. Off them. See ya. Next.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? Because like and you do hear about these fucked up stories, right? On death row, people that didn't do it and like they barely get off, or they get killed. You know, like when we used to do it like more quickly.
But my thing is, dude, wrong place, wrong time. You're obviously connected with the wrong people if you're even tied into that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you still did that to yourself. Like, okay, maybe you didn't do it, but why were you even tied in with that fucking crowd anyway? Yeah. You're hanging out with someone that killed somebody.
Totally.
You took the fall for it, but why the fuck you hanging out with those people anyway? You know what I mean? Like you're a product of your surrounding, and everyone. I mean, you make your own choices. You know, you surround yourself with whoever you want to surround yourself, and you can be whoever you want to be at the end of the day. Is how I live, you know, and how I think, and the people I've been around and I've seen. And you know, if you choose that's the lifestyle you want to go down, that's the lifestyle you want to go down. Because there's plenty of people. I mean, I think like LeBron's a very good aspect for that type of sense. Came from nothing, came from Akron, Ohio, in the hood, was good at sports. Granted, he's an amazing athlete, but he completely came out of that. And there's a lot of people that do that. You know what I mean? So I think you can make your own luck from it. Maybe you don't have to be athletic, but just go to school. Say, all right, fuck it. You're not athletic. Fucking change it. Do something else. You know, go be an attorney or whatever you got to do. You know, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of unathletic attorneys for sure. So I mean, you can do something.
There you go.
Hey, are most of them fat?
I wouldn't say most, but there's, a good percentage for sure.
Most of them unhealthy. That's a better way to say it.
I would say unhealthy, absolutely. Yeah, unhealthy in the sense that, even the people that I work in my office, you know, they eat out a lot, never bring their own meals, you know, which is never ideal, and then also it's expensive, so you're spending extra money that you don't need. You have to go somewhere to get your food, and then of course you just don't know how it's prepared. Which I think is just all attorneys work on billable hours. So it's when I get into work, it's how many hours can I bill? Go, you know? And so it's why would I want to stop what I'm doing, get in my car, go drive someplace to go get some food, just to, come back and eat it there, and then that's
take 2 hours off.
Exactly, you know what I mean? I just go grab my food upstairs real quick, come back down, you know, and then just be eating while I'm still getting work done, and then be at home, you know, doing something that I want to do instead of being stuck in the office, you know. So for me, it's just in, and
go
plus,
home and
you know what the food is because you made it. You know, so it's there's a lot of, and then of course the stress and just all the other stuff that comes with it. It's the partners and stuff are worked to the bone, a lot of them, you know, and at my firm, which is like a mid-sized firm, I think it's about 350 attorneys, which is like decently sized, but again, like they go up to 1,200, 1,300 attorneys, like some of the big firms in LA and stuff. And those guys, they just work nonstop, And so it's like, even though they have a family, they're just always on call, always checking their phone, always getting
they live in their emails.
Yeah, and I mean, you're getting one-word answers from people. I mean, just like the letter K, just on like your emails, just stuff like that, where you're just like, dude, like you have no time, and just like that, I feel bad. Because it's just like, holy shit, where's your life going?
Well, at that point, it's like, what the fuck is the money worth?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
So how do you make sure you don't get in that boat? How are you going to make sure you stay in essentially the lifestyle you're in now? How do you justify that? Is it just, you think it's greed driven? I think a lot of things are greed driven nowadays, and it's been, since the beginning of time. So do you think just how much money you're comfortable making and you want to make? And is that why they're so fucking busy? Because they just want to make that much more money that they're fucking having to live on their phones?
I think that definitely plays a part. I mean, absolutely. It's just, I think, going back to, I guess, like your last question of how I even got here in the first place, like,
yeah.
So I grew up skateboarding. My dad was an ER doctor. My mom was a nutritionist.
Okay.
And so I grew up in, like, El Segundo area. And that's kind of how I have the background of, like, the kind of nutrition and health. It's always been, like, pretty close to my heart growing up. But I grew up skateboarding, playing ice hockey. And it was kind of like around 10 or 11 that I was getting like pretty competitive in the ice hockey thing, but also skating a lot on the side. And so, and it just used to drive my dad crazy because he's an ER doctor and like he's old school. So he's just like, why the fuck are you skating? Like go into sports, go into all this stuff. Like skateboarding is like for losers, that have pierced ears and like
especially
pot,
at that time too, especially at that time.
Oh, for sure. And like Thrasher was like first coming out, like,
it was really
90s.
punky.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Like it was counterculture, subculture, like, even going to like the skate shops, it was just a totally different vibe.
Now it's like
Nike. You got kids wearing Janowskis that like don't skate. Everyone wants to look like a skater. You got Supreme doing deals with Louis V, and like everyone is just getting a piece of like the skateboarding industry. But that was never like that, So like when I was skating, it was definitely like not a cool thing to do. And I have two older brothers that are have done well for themselves, and so it was like my dad was like a little worried about me as like the third kid that was going to be like kind of the fuck up, because I was skating. And skating was what I love to do.
Dude, it's always the fuck ups that do good, man.
Yeah. But I haven't really done shit yet, so we'll see.
No, but you're on your way, dude, and you got a good head on your shoulders, and you want to. I think you're gonna do awesome things. Where would you say compared to your brothers? Are your brothers like into the shit you're into, or are they just counter opposites? Because like our family members, like our siblings, are counter opposites of what him and I are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of got a good mix of both my brothers.
Okay.
So like my one brother. They're actually much older than me because they're from my dad's previous marriage. So like they are half brothers technically. But the one brother who is the older one is very type A, very like disciplined,
by the
driven,
book.
by the book. And like the other one is also very driven and disciplined too, but is much more like kind of soft, like old soul, like just good, easygoing, And so like I kind of have like both sides,
which
like,
is good to have.
Which is cool because when I was growing up, like Garrick, who's the older one, he's the one that I run with typically. Like, he's an Ironman crazy guy.
Okay, so they're that's what I was wondering. Are they big in like
health and fitness?
Yeah, are they really in shape? Like, how's that?
Garrick is in crazy shape.
Really?
For triathlon, like he is, every day he's training for triathlon runs. And so that's who I've been running with.
Do you swim a lot?
No, he just did a swim the other day, dude. Looked fucking so shitty. Every time I see your story post, I'm like, yep, sign me not up for that.
Yeah.
I'm I'm good.
Very slow in the water, man. But I actually love
dense.
swimming. Yeah, I'm dense. Which actually, like muscle is decent in the pool if you like have the efficient stroke, but I definitely don't. And so
what's a lot different in the ocean too? You did an ocean swim the other day. As soon as you get current and like, dude, you can have that much chop and it changes the fucking game.
Oh, for sure. But it's like, ocean swimming for me is just so awesome because
it's way more freeing.
Yeah, it's free, and you're just like, I grew up like surfing and boogie boarding and stuff because I grew up at the beach, so it's like just being out in the ocean.
That's what I
early
mean. It's like
morning,
freeing.
Yeah. And you just feel like so humbled by the ocean. Like you're literally out 30, 40 yards. You know, there's nobody around. It's silent.
Yeah.
And like you're pretty much at the mercy of the ocean. Like if anything wanted to like take you or
Haven't you seen the movie Jaws though?
Yeah. I have, you know. And so but at the same time it's like, you know, whatever, it be a shark attack or a drowning or a current or like it's just like so be it kind of, you know.
Yeah,
what
so
I mean?
we
like,
talked about this a
Yeah.
lot with athletes that are on the team like that are surfers and shit like that. You know,
Yeah,
you can't. That's definitely one thing. Like I always like we always talk and we're like, dude, if I ever have a family, I'm going back home. You know, I wouldn't even want to stay here technically because like me, the beach in Hawaii is a lot different, right?
Yeah.
But like it does something to you, dude.
For sure.
Growing up on water is definitely the move.
Yeah.
You know, but here it's even a little different for me. Like first time you took me diving over here, I was like, dude, this is fucked up. Like these kelp patches and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I've never been in a kelp patch, dude. This is weird.
Right. Yeah. And you're used to like this perfect clear water and
Yeah.
like
I
the
mean, not even clear, just
Pacific.
nothing in your way and
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? Like big sea lions. Like he has some gnarly stories. Tell him the story about with the giant sea lion off the coast. You're on Catalina, right?
Yeah, I was probably about a mile off the island, and there's just a high spot where the rocks come up, and I was spearfishing for yellowtail, and all of a sudden I end up coming up, and I'm face to face with probably a 300-pound female sea lion, and
Really?
from about me to you away, and it just starts going, and just like pissed off. It had
Really?
its freaking baby right next to it.
Oh
Sketchy.
no.
And
So sketchy. That thing will bite you in half.
well, no, they
Everybody's-
probably bite more
everybody's worried
people
about
here than
sharks.
sharks do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just swimming right at me, and it's getting its face in front of mine, and I'm just swimming backwards, and my buddy's on my boat, and I'm like, "Yo, motherfucker, get your ass over here!" And it's just it was pissed, and it was very clear it's pissed. Compared to like a lot of the times you'll be diving, free diving, scuba diving, one thing or another, and you see them, they're just cruising, and it's just like, hey, just want to say hi.
Yeah.
But when it's pissed off and in your face, you're like, this thing is about to fuck me up.
Totally.
That's
And
the
in
trippy
the
thing
water.
about the water, dude. Is like anything in the water that's your size will fuck you up.
Oh, for sure.
Will fuck
My
you
size,
up.
bro?
Yeah.
You think I'm that big? I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Even things like half that size will fuck you up. You're just
Oh, yeah.
such out of your element in the ocean, you know, like pretty much anything. Like I was just swimming the other day, and then like sure enough, a pod of dolphins are going by,
Oh,
and like
dude.
I mean they were real close, you know, but like there's like that split second where you're just like you're a little nervous because first of all they're so close to you, you don't know if like one's gonna come up underneath you, like your stomach, and you're just like so open and out there. But then like as soon as that goes away, you get that just like amazing like connection where you're like, wow.
Dude,
And
so
Yeah.
so I've swam with a fuck ton of dolphins. So has Brandon. But I used to run a water sports business in Hawaii, and there was a pod of dolphins. Typically, you on Oahu, you swim with dolphins on the west side of the island. They're typically sleeping, and so essentially when dolphins are sleeping, they're just cruising along, and there's a couple guiding dolphins in the pod, right?
Yeah.
So there's a pod of like 30, probably like 25 of them are sleeping or some shit. I'm not a dolphin expert, but something like that. And I jumped off the boat one time with this pod of dolphins, and they were feeding, and it was the scariest shit of my fucking life, dude. Like, dolphins were legit hitting me, had no regard for me, and were, like, honestly kind of fucking me up. And I was like, dude, I was fucking kind of tripping. Like,
Really?
it was not cool, bro.
Dude.
They will fuck you up.
Well, just
Yeah.
like just
Well,
ramming you?
yeah, they're just ramming because they're feeding.
Yeah.
And they literally go frenzy mode. They're like
Yeah.
sharks. So same exact way. When they're fucking hungry, dude, they're fucking eating.
I was in the
Wow.
water with a hammerhead one time feeding.
See, hammerheads
Holy-
are sketchy if they're not feeding.
Like-
Fuck a hammerhead.
Okay.
Well, no, normally you see sharks, like, I don't even know
Yeah,
how
but not a
many
hammerhead. I fucking hate hammerheads.
sharks I've seen at this point, but it's just like, nah, it's chill. It's just cruising because they're normally just like super smooth, slow strokes. When that thing was eating, I got my ass in the water. It flew by me, probably going 50 miles an hour chasing a tuna, and I was just like, oh, fuck.
Wow.
I am out.
Yeah.
I am out.
Shit's scary though. Yeah, the ocean will fuck you up.
Because
No,
there's
for sure.
literally nothing you can do at that point. But
Yeah.
hey, it's like, if you're going to die at that point, like, I was close enough to the boat. I'm like, yup, couple kicks, get my ass back on the
Yeah.
deck.
But,
But-
you're just at the mercy. It just humbles you, though.
Yeah,
No,
it's super,
absolutely.
it's
I
super
love
rad.
about it. When I got out of the ocean the other day, like, yeah, I was slow, but like you just feel so good, and like, I mean, you're getting all that like grounding of Earth's energy when you're
Oh,
out
absolutely.
there, and like the negative ions of the Earth, and like you just compared to like sitting in a room with a bunch of like laptops getting that freaking non-native EMF all day, and then,
Yeah.
like, the ocean just like grounds you, and you just come out like in the morning, like I just felt like so relaxed.
You feel
the
like a
rest of the day.
brand new person the second
Yeah.
you get out of it.
You
Like,
know, even though during the time I'm like freaking dying out there, like like
Yeah,
floating
yeah.
on my back for a second, like what is going on here? Like what's up with this?
well, that's how it
I
was.
used to be decent at
Yeah.
swimming, but you take some time off and just gone.
Yeah, facts.
Well, on surf team in high school, it's getting up every morning at 5:45, 5:30. You get to the beach and you're like, oh, it really?
Yeah.
It's freaking
Dude, we had
40,
the
50.
worst
It's
surf PE coach.
yeah.
This dude used to read his newspaper from his car in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And you would you'd literally do freaking attendance. You'd walk up to him, and then you'd be like, "What's up?" And then you'd be like, "Peters, check you off." And he was such a douche.
Yeah, that's what
I
everyone
hate
did
that
at
fool.
our school. Is everyone would go check
Shittiest
in.
waves, he'd send you out, cold as fuck, windy, like blown
Wind.
out. Go out there.
See, we were at the cliffs in Huntington.
Yeah.
And so what
didn't
half
even
the guys
surf.
would do
This
is
dude didn't even surf.
oh, I'd be
That's so
pissed.
Yeah, he was like the baseball coach too.
Oh fuck.
Dude, I'm serious. He was just running the fucking surf PE. It was like such a joke. Like there was a lot of good surfers in El Segundo, like that surf like the jetty and stuff. And sure enough, like I don't know what they found, like why they found this dude to like coach the team, but I guess he was kind of the go-to guy, and never came out in the ocean once with us. Not once.
Oh yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, he's a fuck.
He's a
He's
fuck.
he's a fuck. I love it.
Yeah, you know, you get home at like the 0 period, and you're like just sitting in the shower for like 20 minutes, just like shivering your ass off. You know, like
Didn't even catch a fucking wave.
didn't
had
even
a
catch
shitty
a wave.
morning.
Yeah,
but
shitty
had to
morning.
be there.
Yeah, right. And then you're going into your like
Oh,
next
because your
class.
guys' waves change so much more than they do here. Because when it's flat, it's like flat. Because you have PV blocking so much stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, it would just be like, I mean, during winter you actually get some solid waves,
Yeah.
you know, like up there. So like, but again, it might be just like walled out, and it's like you're still going out. It's like 4 or 5 feet. I'm not catching this shit. You're gonna get wrecked, you know. But like you're still floating out there. You're still having to like paddle for outsiders so that you don't get smashed. And then sure enough, you're freezing your ass off too,
Yeah,
you know.
I was always like a little crackhead in the water. I'm like, I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
And then I got
Just
so
going for it.
spoiled traveling
Still a
so
crackhead,
much.
though.
Oh, well, yeah, no,
Oh, this dude gets good waves, bro. He's fucking. He paddles so quick, dude. I don't know what he is. He's so light or whatever it is. That motherfucker will paddle 20 feet by the time I paddle 5.
That's awesome.
It's
though.
crazy, dude.
You gotta get the
He'll
position.
fucking zoom,
Yeah.
man. He'll like, oh, he's there, dude. It's crazy.
yeah. And so I'd always be like, oh, get out of the water. But what everyone on our team used to do is go check in, and they'd go pretend to paddle out. They'd paddle down the beach, catch a wave in, and just go right up the cliff, and you're gone. You could go to surf class for 10 minutes if you really wanted
Really?
to. Yeah.
So where's the teachers at?
Well, it's because it was on a cliff.
Oh.
And so there was a lifeguard tower, say, right here. And then the cliff would come out right here. And so as soon as you got past that point, you could just go right in because they won't see you walk in or walk up. And then you just walk straight to your car in the parking lot and you're done.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I wish I had that.
That's a score, dude.
Yeah,
what the
that would've been
fuck?
for sure.
He's like, I
score.
wish it was that
Holy
easy to
shit,
cheat the
man.
system.
No.
Okay, so you so you're telling us you skating, your brothers, and then you're in high school. When did you decide you want to
Yeah.
go into law? Like what was the deal with that?
So yeah, so
Did you originally go to college for law?
No. Well, yeah.
I feel like no one does.
Well, no. Okay, so
Oh, you did.
kind of. I mean, what I did is, first of all, I went to community college. So out of high school, I probably had a good enough grades to get into a 4-year, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And at that time, I was playing hockey still. I got an offer to go to University of Utah to play hockey there. Just turned that down. Decided against that.
Why?
I went to Utah, man. It's just I couldn't see myself growing. You
Oh,
know,
I
spending the
feel
next 4
that.
years
Okay, so
there.
that's the reason why.
You know, well, yeah, and just some of the guys there, I went out and met some of the guys, and it was just like one of those things where it was just too much hockey. You know, like they lived, breathed, just did everything. Like if it wasn't NHL, then it was like college hockey. If it wasn't college hockey, it was like.
Well, that's as soon as you get
yeah.
into like college sports. I feel like because like
Yeah.
when I played soccer, dude, there was like I'd say 90% of the team was fucking soccer. And the
Dude.
other 10% was like, let's
Yeah,
fucking party.
I
Everybody else was like, let's rage, dude.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
time
But
to go.
it wasn't like enough of like the balance for me.
Plus, Utah
you know?
already, dude. Like, I lived in Wyoming for a year. Really similar vibe. It's
Oh, for sure.
no, I mean, there's shit to do, but at the same point, bro, like the
Not
culture,
much.
especially from California,
Yeah.
big fucking
Big difference. Oh, totally. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I probably can't see myself like doing this
That's
for the
good
next
call.
4 years.
Okay.
So then I came back here, went to community college
Yeah.
in Santa Monica, and then that's when I started like basically gave up hockey. I was just kind of over it. You know, I decided that it was like I'm not gonna go pro, so I was like screw it. So then I started skating a lot more. Started building sponsorships and skating. I'd been skating the whole time, but like was focusing more on hockey and then really kind of like gave the skateboarding thing a bit of a run there. Like while I was doing community college more just to kind of keep like my parents off my back and stuff.
For sure.
You know, partying, and then it was just like
I bet you had a good time in Santa Monica, huh?
yeah, it was cool.
That's
I mean, I was
certainly
living at my parents' house at the time, you know, which was cool. I mean, my parents are pretty chill, and like my house was definitely like kind of the party house. Like we'd pregame there and everything. But the skateboarding thing was like, it was going well, but it wasn't like I could see like gonna really be like the future thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was like I was doing enough to get like product flowed, and then I got like taken on a few trips and did some contests and like dropped some video parts and stuff. But it was like, is this really gonna be like, you know, the next like Nigel Houston? Just not a chance. You know what I mean? I just realized
Why is that, you think?
Dude,
How old were you at this point in time? Because I mean,
19,
now it's different
17,
than
18. You know, probably 18, and then
because when was that? How old are you now?
29, almost
29?
30.
You're
yeah.
29?
You're fucking kidding.
No, I'm dead serious.
We're all shook in the fucking room right
Yeah.
now. If anyone can see this, we are shook. You're 29?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were like fucking 25, 26.
it's a baby
like, I
face,
was going
man.
for 26, honestly. You're
Really?
29?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's the thing, man. You just
Yeah, I'm
gotta,
25 and I'm
See, I
way
feel
more
like-
weathered on the face.
I feel like that's what I'm saying. What the fuck's up with this shit, man?
Yeah.
What's up with all these old ass men coming on the podcast?
Yeah, and your
like
gray
a
ass hair
snack?
coming through.
Right? Bro. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm almost 30.
That
too,
was-
coming on 30.
that's rough, like 11 years ago, 10 years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
just say a decade ago. You don't think you could have done something? Because I don't think skating really started taking off till 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago, skating, or maybe 6 or 7.
Way to be an asshole. Just rub it in.
Well,
dude.
no, I'm genuinely curious on
Yeah.
like why you think you couldn't have. Like, was the talent that crazy? Like
You know
when you're
what
in
it
comps
is?
and shit. Because now the talent, dude. I mean, you're pro when you're fucking 14.
Yeah.
If you're not pro at 14, fuck. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so this is what happened is, first of all, the industry just is very brutal. Like, it's
Right.
kind of just like, you better produce, or like you're just going to get steamrolled over and just the next talent's going to come.
Yeah.
And what happened is I had like 2 back-to-back knee injuries. So I like blew out my meniscus, had surgery. They like repaired it, like went through the whole physical therapy.
Was
and
it
stuff
from
like
skating?
that. Yeah, it was from skating.
Okay.
And then sure enough, like you have to go to, they like did some stitching and stuff in there, orthoscopic stitching, and they're like, oh yeah, do this physical therapy, and then in 6 months you should be good to go again, you know? And I'm like, okay, so then I did all the physical therapy, which is a bitch, you know, and then now you're like 6 months out, like you're still with, you know, talking to your sponsors and everything, and they're like cool with it, because like sure enough, I mean, that's how the world is, like
Yeah,
you're gonna
exactly.
get injured doing that stuff. But then sure enough came out, and then within like a month did it again, popped the same knee, like sat back on it, and I felt the stitches rip in there. And
No
then,
shit.
Yeah, so went back into surgery, round 2. So now we're looking at like close to a year out.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
In that year, that's a lot of catch-up time for a lot of people.
yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, well, you're also off and just sitting in bed and like watching skate videos and like freaking on painkillers, you know, like you start thinking about kind of like your life and whatever,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
and just like whether or not like this is kind of what you want and what the next step is, you know, in your life. And I think it was during that time too where I'm like, you know what, well, I'm kind of sitting on my ass anyways. I might as well like go back to school and really like get my, you know, a full college education. So then like at that time I was still at community college, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to transfer during this time. And then I was still skating, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to UCI, because I got into UCI, I got into a few schools, and UCI was just like convenient enough where it was like I could come home to my parents and like see them on the weekends. But I was like, found a cool place in Newport, moved in with my buddies there, and it was very similar vibes to like where I grew up in
Okay.
like the South Bay. So it was like Newport was just an easy like kind of switch it out, like, okay, we can do this down here. And then we did the 2 years at UCI, and during that time I was still skating like a good amount, but at the same time kind of like enjoying college, partying, hanging out with people in Newport, and I also didn't really having fun. And like I think that a lot of the people that I was skating for too were just like cool with like me kind of taking that next step like in life. And like even I even talked to some of them, they're like, dude, you should go like do something a little bit more. Like I think that you have more potential like than skateboarding, and like not that I really thought that, but I was just like, I knew that I wasn't going to be like the one making the Nike contracts or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
the Nike.
Yeah. And like the skateboarding life is like, it is kind of like grimy and just tough,
Well, the thing with skateboarding too, especially now, same with like surfing industry and everything, there are so many good, same with snowboarding, there's so many good fucking athletes under the radar that no one even knows about. Like I see skaters all the time now, dude, where I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like
for sure.
Barracks will put up like a clip or something and be like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And some random dude in there.
Like,
dude, it's some random dude in there, and he's fucking he's better than half pro skaters that are like on tour on like SLS and shit.
Totally.
He just hasn't had the right moment yet, or whatever it is. But
or the right representation, or
whatever it is.
And a lot of life is getting to know the right people. Let's be real.
It's all your network, for sure.
Exactly.
Like why Nigel fucking made it, and I mean obviously he's the best skater in the world, but he made it at what? He was like, I think he was like 8 years old when he like first got recognized.
First started, hooking him up.
Yeah, and then ever since then though, he's been building his network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
and then he's been like fucking. I mean that guy's unreal.
Yeah.
Like
he's one of those dudes that like is kind of easy to hate on because of just like the lifestyle that he lives, and he's reckless and like parties and shit, but like his skating just from like a pure skateboarding perspective is fucking insane. Like
how effortless his shit is.
Yeah, that's why I watch his
so
skating. I'm like, dude, I cannot even hate on this dude because he's just so good and so consistent, and just like, and I mean, and he still slams. Like he gets fucked up and like gets back up and does the trick, and like so you just can't hate on the dude, at all. Even though like him as a personality is a little bit douchey, but like that's kind of how he just comes off. Like I've met him numerous times. He's like pretty chill if you're like talking to him like me and you, but of course on social media.
Well, at that point, wouldn't you like? It's kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
Because you grew up with that shit. He won his first X Games at what, 13 years old?
Probably.
Some shit like that. I think
he was like 13, 14 or something.
Yeah, and so it's just like, hey, he's always been in the limelight. And so he doesn't know really anything else different.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I got to give him credit for sure.
Yeah. Surgeries. Let's talk about this shit for a minute.
For sure.
Were you stoked on them? Because I'm curious on your opinion, because I know so many different people who are in the whole health food world, like, oh, don't get surgeries, don't go do this, you're just damaging your body more. Or like, I have a chiropractor who's like, oh yeah, talking about knee surgeries, saying, oh, all you're doing is damaging it more, you're not actually fixing
See, I think
the
that's
problem.
the scariest thing in the world, bro. Getting a knee surgery, like, fucking up my knee is, like, that's the scary. That's scary,
I'm more curious on your opinion on a lot of that stuff, just because I've heard so many different opinions from so many different people. Like, this shit, I got surgery on it. I was fucking stoked. I want this metal out of my body now.
Yeah.
But at the same exact point, they won't do shit because of COVID and everything else. And they're like, you got to wait. And I'm just like, yo, no, I want the metal out of my body.
Yeah.
But from like your meniscus and stuff like that, I'm really not that familiar with that in your body. So do they just stitch it together and leave it at that? Or what exactly gets done on that?
Meniscus is like the cartilage in between the joints. So like imagine if this is your kneecap, like you have kind of a layer of cartilage that sits in between the kneecap. And so sure enough, like, when that tears, then you're going to have like a little bit of just constant, like, I don't know, stress in there, and then it just gets loose and kind of sits in the joint. So
it just rubs, right?
It just rubs, yeah. And so it's honestly not that big of a surgery. It's not like an ACL or an MCL where like they're fucking with the ligaments, which is really what you should be worried about. That's always the ones that are like the ones that reoccur.
Well, the meniscus one I heard it recurs a lot. Like I had 3 buddies when I played high school, like soccer in high school, tore their meniscus and it fucking tore again. All 3 of them.
Totally. I mean, so because the cartilage, it doesn't repair well. There isn't a lot of blood flow.
Well, the stitching, it's just like getting stitches on your head or like in a weird zone where like you would stretch your skin and it's so easy to rip. It's like a scab. Totally. It'll just rip open.
No. So I mean, what's weird is like, I mean, so it was 70% is what they took out. So I have 30% of the cartilage left in my knee, in my right knee. And honestly, I mean, I run, I still jump down shit, you know, like I don't have a lot of pain in my knee, which is great. I think that probably in the future there's definitely like grounds for arthritis in there, but I'm hoping by that time there's going to be some legitimate like research coming out with stem cells, PRP, like any of this stuff is pretty regenerative in what it can do with growing cartilage. So that's kind of like what I'm hoping for, you know. I mean, I don't want to do like a knee replacement. I don't think that's the right move. You know, I think that once you start putting some artificial like real big pieces into your body, then you're going to be starting dealing with some things that like isn't natural. So I think that like as a last resort, I think surgery is the option, but like of course if you can do any preventative measures first to avoid surgery, a lot of people want the quick fix, and that's like, oh, just go in there like, oh, I have, you know, whatever, whether it be torn meniscus or rotator cuff, like please just, you know, put me under the needle and let's just get done with it, you know. It's like maybe you could just do some mobility, a lot of like yoga or something like that, and really like work that area out, or look to the reason why you have so much tension in the back of your neck, you know, and like
there's a lot more holistic routes now, for sure.
You know,
well, that's exactly what when I dislocated my shoulder, they're just like, first thing, oh, you got to get surgery, and I'm like, why?
Totally.
I could do push-ups and a handstand and I don't even remember what shoulder it is at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I was like, fuck that. I'm just going to rebuild it. They're like, no, your rotator cuff is completely torn. You have issues. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
But now I don't notice at all. This shit was just...
What is that, collarbone?
Yeah, my collarbone.
Yeah, I've done that
I broke it twice back to back.
Same.
But the second time was literally like... And it was broken in like 3 different places, and it was just fucked.
Yeah. No,
So
I've done the collarbone a couple times too. That one I did skateboarding and then back-to-back ice hockey. And like the funniest thing is my dad was an ER doctor working at Kaiser in Harbor City, and which is up in LA. And I was down in San Diego playing a game, and got driven into the boards. I just felt the whole thing crack up. Like it was pretty bad. So. But he's like, I'm not going down to the ER down here. Fuck that. Like, I'm taking you to Kaiser. We can get right in. So then we're leaving San Diego in like Sunday afternoon traffic leaving San Diego.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting passenger
You're like, oh, this is going to be a rad 4-hour drive.
Yeah, so just like sitting there just in pain for like literally 4 hours as we get to Kaiser, which was awesome because, again, we didn't have to wait. I just went right in, which was a plus. But it was just definitely like, you know, collarbone, you can't get comfortable, like no matter what. It's always painful. Like if you're laying down this way, it like feels good for a second, and then sure enough the pain kicks in again, and then like you adjust a little bit, pain comes back, you know, and then it's clicky and just weird. So collarbone sucks.
So was yours like fractured or broken in multiple places, or what was the deal on that?
So I did one. The first time I did it like more by the shoulder joint.
Yeah.
And then the second time like is like right here, so it was a little bit more like down towards like the base, I guess, you know. It wasn't full. I mean, it was like it was a pretty solid fracture the second time. You can kind of feel like the bump. It's just. I mean, like, it's like that.
Yeah, but it was just a little bump. Not they were worried it wasn't going to grow back together or any of that shit.
Yeah. It was like not as bad as it, like coming through the skin or anything crazy like that, you know, but it was enough to, I mean, you know.
See, the funny thing is when I like had the first time I broke it, I had a little fracture in it. It hurt way freaking more than when it just blew
Snapped,
up. Yeah, like, well, it was like 8 weeks apart, you know.
Totally, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm good snowboarding. Next thing you know, shoot.
You snowboard?
What? Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You're gonna come this season?
Let's do it. I
Let's
would love to,
do it.
man.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Where do you guys typically go?
Everywhere.
Yeah. What is everywhere? Like Mammoth or like
Mammoth, Bear. Usually if we go to Bear, though, we go to what? Summit's called?
Summit? Yeah, Summit.
Summit, because there's chill park and no line ever. You know, no people ever.
Yeah,
Tahoe's
I
sick,
went to Bear for, I mean,
I
did Bear for a long time, and I'm so burned out on Bear. It's
yeah,
just
see, I don't like Bear that much.
Yeah, I'm down for Mammoth. I'm like, I kind of stopped doing like the jibbing, like the boxes and rails, like for the most part, because I got to that point where I was like slowly trying to get better and better and better, and it just got jacked up a few times. And so now I'll just like screw around on boxes, but I'd rather just like hit some dope downhill and just shred, you know? Like,
dude, I feel like you would send it on jumps though.
No. I mean,
I like more like natural features and shit.
Yeah.
That's more fun to me.
Yeah, I mean,
rails are not my jam.
No.
Rails are his jam. he goes for rails, and I'm just like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
That's just sketchy shit.
For
like,
me, it's
I'm not
just,
a big rail guy.
No, I'm used to being able to bail like on rails. I mean, I got to a point where I was doing like double kink rails and stuff on a snowboard, but it was sketchy. You know, like one of those where like you come off and you're kind of like, you know, like whoa.
Look how stoked, how stoked Greg gets right now. Listen to all this shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was, but like, or like do a board slide and you're like kind of on like your front of the rail, like going down, like almost catching an edge.
Yeah.
You know, and then like you somehow pull it off and like, you know, maybe even like skip out on your ass and you're like, whew, you know.
But wipeouts on that shit really hurt, dude.
Oh, for sure.
It's
and, like,
it's worse than skating to me, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you're going for the whole ride no matter what.
Well, you can't bail on your board.
Yeah, you're strapped,
so
so
it's
you're
exactly.
fucked.
So like me growing up skating rails, it's like I really enjoyed skating rails growing up. That's what I liked the most. And it's just totally different on a snowboard. So it's like I would like look at that rail and be like, that's a freaking sick rail. And then sure enough, like once I like pop off to go for it, you know, on a snowboard, it just feels so much different, you know. And then like if you get into a slide, you don't feel like it doesn't feel right. On a board, you just kick it out and kind of take the bail and roll out of it, you know. On a snowboard, good luck.
You're strapped in.
Yeah. So
and
like,
board sliding is so much easier in my head on a skateboard than a
for
snowboard.
sure. Yeah.
Like,
snowboard catching the edge is the scariest thing in
Yeah.
your life, and you feel it going to catch. You're like trying to stop the catch, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and you're done. So yeah, I've had a lot of solid slams on a snowboard. I did bear probably like 3 winters in a row. We'd go up like, you know, every other weekend, and it was getting to that point where like I was getting better, but like still not going enough to really get like good, you know, just to like push yourself where you probably shouldn't be pushing yourself. And then I had a couple slams that I'm like, you know, I almost knocked myself out one day, and like it was just like, you know what, dude, it's not worth it.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because just finding out that you're 29, to me that's fucking mind blowing.
All the schooling, man. When do you think? Where did you think I
that's
did it?
totally true for sure. But I just didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I
you
took
know?
time off like multiple times. You know, before JC. Then I took a couple years off.
See, I thought you were like 26 and just went all the way through and rushed that shit.
No, I've taken time off to travel.
See, that's good. That's cool. I think that's really important. How have you always been? I mean, obviously with ice hockey and shit like that, you've always been into like some sort of fitness. Have you felt your body start to like really slow down in any like real area, or are you say you're pretty on it? Because I think you're one of the most everything I see you do on a daily basis, whether it's your story or just like weekly basis. For a 29-year-old, I feel like it's very impressive. Obviously, there's like 50-year-olds and 45-year-olds and shit, and like your older brother that does like triathlons and shit, but not a lot of people do. They start to slow down right at like, I say 30, 35, you know, certain areas. Like I feel like you're in a very good spot, and like
I feel like most people I know who do that shit, that's their life though.
That's what I'm saying.
They are no freaking lawyer at the same
That's
exact
what I'm saying.
time.
You're still. I think you're still ripping skating, and you're fucking you're a lawyer, and then you're doing all this other shit, and like where. Like, do you think you're ever gonna stop skating? You think you're gonna keep that up for a while, just because you enjoy it that much? Like, where?
Yeah, I mean, skating for me is just like that's one of those times where you just like you get into a flow and you just lose like sense of time.
Right.
And I was
like
like
surfing.
you know, exactly. So it's like when I can just go out and that's the reason that like something like surfing or snowboarding.
We got to go to that park that you were telling me about.
Which one?
I don't know. Remember, I was texting you
the one
about
Huntington?
No, I was texting you about it. You were like, bro, we got to go like 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that one local in Manhattan. Yeah, we can go anytime.
Dude,
it
looks like these sick. We would have a fucking blast, bro.
There's nobody there,
so
too.
Fun.
It's rad.
It looks super sick.
It's a good spot. Yeah, that's right by my place. So, yeah, anytime we can go in the morning. I do that before, like, work probably once or twice a week.
Yeah, we haven't skated in a while, too, especially with COVID. Shut down all the parks and all that shit.
I know.
That'd be fun, though.
They just built a sick park in Tustin.
Really?
Right when I moved out.
Really?
A super sick one, yeah, which is like would have been really around the
Where
corner
is it?
from my house.
The other warehouse is right on the Tustin border.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the park. I can show you after the podcast, but I mean, Tustin didn't have shit going for it, you know, and then sure enough, now it's like has that skate park. I was just so bored there.
My most important question right now. When did you start really taking care of your body? Because I feel like you do a really good job of taking care of your body, taking care of yourself, watching what you eat, shit like that. Obviously, you're still going to eat in and out and shit like that, you know? And that's the thing, like, dude, no one's perfect. Like, you're going to fucking binge eat some stuff that you probably shouldn't eat, but fuck it, dude.
No, you got to live a little bit, man.
I'm not trying to just eat lettuce and kale and shit.
No,
like, no.
Yeah, I would
So when did that click in?
So I don't know if you guys, like, I kind of went, so let's just, like, go back to kind of where the skateboarding started to close off a little bit. I was at UCI, and then I had a couple teachers that I was in. Sociology was my major, which basically is law and criminology, psychology, and like sustainability, and one other like under the School of Social Ecology at UCI. So like you had to take a bunch of different classes, but I had a couple really cool like kind of law professors that taught the law school and then also taught some undergraduate classes. Just cool dudes, you know, like had been attorneys and like, you know, wore bow ties to classes and just like were the epitome of just like a law school professor, you know, but like pushed your ass hard in class and expected you to show up and like ran it like a law school class, didn't take bullshit, you know, and it was like cool to me because I was like, damn, he's expecting you to be on it, and like he calling your name, and then if you did well, you like feel good, and like, you know, you would just be like motivated to do well in his class. Yeah. And he was a tough grader, so anyways, like long story short, I did well, super well in his class. You know, ended up getting like one of the highest grades, and then like was like, this would be cool. Maybe I like would consider law school like after, you know, because I kind of enjoyed it. And it was not like because law was really like that appealing to me. It was just because undergraduate degree this day and age is almost like a high school degree. You know, like everyone has one. No one's really putting it to work, and it's just kind of like another like stepping stone.
I feel like a lot of people do it. Yeah, a reason to rack up debt, and I feel like a lot of people just do it because their parents.
Totally.
You know? Everyone's just like, well, my parents expect me to do that, and they're not going to be quote unquote proud of me or something until I do that. But then the problem with that, I think, as well, is you go get that degree, and now you're expected to do something with that degree. Yeah. And a lot of people aren't doing anything with their degree. You know,
but
like
what can you even do with it? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So my sister just graduated from a 4-year, and she was full ride all 4 years, but she just graduated this past May. Yeah. And now she's expected to do some fucking insane shit with her degree. Yeah. Which fucking sucks to me. Totally. Like, I don't want that expectation on me. You know what I mean? Like, where I'm like expected to go out and fucking kill it. I'd rather just do my thing and then show everyone I'm going to kill it and do something, you know?
Well, even at BRD, we have people who apply for stupid-ass warehouse jobs
that have college degrees
for $15 an hour or whatever it is. And, they just graduated college, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing here with a finance degree wanting to pack boxes in a warehouse? Like, how does this make sense?
Well, that's just, it just shows it's just like a flood of the system, you know? Like, if everyone has one, then it's not worth anything, you know what I mean? So
that's a good way to look at it.
And that's kind of where it is now. And so it's like, again, a lot of people are graduating, they don't have any idea what they want to do. They just have racked up this debt. Yeah. And then, so I was looking at that. I'm like, well, I'm kind of going to be one of those people. You know, I got a sociology degree.
That's cool that you realize that.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's
like, I feel like a lot of people do it, and they get that 4-year done or whatever, and they're like, oh, my parents are happy. I'm fucking out of here. Yeah. Dude.
I was just, you know, and like, I always thought that it would be cool to either go to like business school, or then when I started to get more interested in like more the challenge of law than like the actual like applicable day-to-day like work, you know? It's like, it's very like analytically thinking, it's like critical thinking, it's writing, it's like designing arguments, you know, a lot of being on the fly, people skills, exactly. It's like, and it's like brain stimulating, you know? It's like completely opposite of like going out for a run or like going to the gym or like pushing yourself like on a physical level, you know? So it's like it like kind of stimulates that other side of my brain. So I was like, you know what, like I'll give it a shot, because I was gonna go to either try to get my MBA, but then I was like, you know what, you can kind of do everything you can do with a JD that you can do with an MBA, plus you can practice law, you know? Like, it still is gonna be this like, you know, postgraduate degree that kind of carries a lot of weight, and you know, it's gonna separate you on like an application, you know? And then if you wanted to go into business, which is what I want to do eventually, I don't want to stay in law, you know, because I mean, law it's just too small and minute for me, you know. Like, I like enjoying thinking big and being creative and stuff like that, and just law is like a little bit too like in the box and like cookie cutter, you know. And so, but I want to like cut my teeth in law for a couple of years and learn how to do it, so that like if I ever have to translate go back, that, you know, you know, it's a great like. Of
stepping
course,
stone,
just stepping stone, and also just like a education to have.
Learning experience.
If you ever want to run your own business, or you ever want to like have employees or anything, like you want to know the law, of course. You want to know how to design a company, how to like, you know, do all the back end entity work.
Well, that's what the owner of Monster Energy did. He was an attorney, learned all his business law, had everything set up. Second year in business, he did like $1.6 billion in sales.
Yeah, those energy drinks, man, are just out of control. I mean, they made soda. They figured out how to engineer soda and then charge 3 times the price.
Well,
Which is just like, I mean, that's why they have so much money. Like, how much that
geniuses.
shit, dude, geniuses, man. I mean, and look at people are still buying that shit up left and right.
I think soda's fucking sales went way down though, dude, which is good. I mean, you shouldn't drink fucking soda, to be honest.
You don't like high fructose corn syrup?
Dude, I can't even like. I'm so pissed I used to drink that when I was a kid because everyone drank it when they were a kid. They were like, oh, that shit's dank. And then as soon as you, like, get a taste bud shift or you don't drink it for, like, a month and then you try it, you're like, what the fuck's in my mouth? Dude, I got, like, Cane's or something the other day. Okay.
And
I got a tea and I got, like, a fucking root beer. And I went for a sip of my tea and it was root beer and I literally fucking, you just want to spit it out. You're like, this has got to be the grossest shit I've ever put in my body.
So
like,
bad.
it's unreal. And
You
then
just
we used to
feel
drink it
in
a fuck
teeth
ton when we were
and on the roof
kids.
of your mouth, like,
Yeah,
instantly.
dude. It's crazy.
I think that soda probably is one of the primary reasons that you see the kind of obesity rates that you see in this country. Like,
I could
you
back
think
with that.
about it. I mean, 66% of people now across the country are overweight. You know, that for the first time, I mean,
That's
in the last
fucking crazy.
66% of people. And I think it's like more like on the obese than just overweight, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you look at some of the middle of the country and like everybody's overweight. It's just crazy, you know? It's because
Dad bod
they're
season, bro.
sitting,
It's in.
but they're
it's
sitting
right
there
now.
drinking a soda while they're sitting at a desk all day. You know, it's like just empty calories and just constantly putting yourself in like
39 grams of sugar, 39
inflamed
grams of
state.
sugar, like over and over again.
Dude, just constantly, and like it's not doing anything at all. It's just empty calories, you know, and you're just sitting there. It's a terrible like spiral. But I guess getting back to your question about where I kind of like started taking a little bit more care of my body, I think was like after college, there was like a little time there. Well, okay, so let's go back to like when I was in community college. Probably like the changing time of my life was 4th of July, like in 2011. We're on the beach and we're partying pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of good friends from back home, and they'll remember this day pretty clearly. But we got in a huge fight with some other guys.
Yeah.
And long story short, there was someone had broken a bottle on my friend's head and took the end of the bottle and freaking stabbed me in the side with it.
Stabbed you.
Stabbed me. So I have a big ass bottle, like.
Can I see it?
Yeah, for sure.
Greg, zoom in on that, huh?
So
that's a nice boy.
So if you go ahead and take a Corona bottle up to the side,
and that scar's for sure shrinked for a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because your scars shrink, so that's probably shrunk it down.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a good size, and like I've told people it's a tiger shark in Tahiti. I've made all kinds of funny stories, but like, long story short, that was 4th of July, and got a gnarly surgery on that one for like 9 hours under the knife. They're like digging glass out.
Yeah.
You know, I was super drunk. Like, I mean, first of all, my dad's an ER doctor, right? Like, he shows up at the trauma ward and they're like going through surgery, and he gets like, you know, the alcohol report and everything. It's just like, you know, drugs in my system, freaking alcohol in my system, like all the above.
Stoked.
Yeah, dude. And it was like, I think that was one of the first times that my parents kind of like got an insight into like, I mean, they always knew we partied, you know, like we partied at my house. And we drank a lot of beer, and we drank.
Well, as soon as something like that happens, something's got to click, hopefully, or else you're just going down that spiral, just like drinking soda at your desk every day, right?
Yeah.
So that was your wake up.
I mean, it definitely started. That was like the snowball that started it, because I mean, don't get me wrong. When I went to UCI, we still partied pretty hard too, you know. But I think that like before that particular time, it was a little bit more like we would go down to Hermosa, like, you know, like possibly get in fights. I mean, we just thought our shit didn't stink. It was just like dumb 21-year-old kids, like, you know, like at bars and like, you know, just doing stupid shit. And so I think then when I went to UCI, like, first of all, I mean, everyone there was a little more mellow than some of my friends back home. And so that helped a little bit. I also met my current girlfriend, which helped a lot. And
how long have you been dating her?
6 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's
crazy.
Dude, she's awesome. And like I owe a lot to her too for calming me down, like, you know, over those years.
Yeah.
And then, so that was kind of like the snowball that started, and I kind of was like getting a little more interested in health and just started feeling a little bit better, and like was like, wow, like I didn't realize how shitty that I felt.
As soon as you see a difference, it's kind of a hook thing.
Totally.
It's kind of like,
you know, like I stopped like doing like the sugar was kind of like the first thing that I cut, and then like started working out a little bit, and like some of the UCI guys that I was living with at the time, like got me like going to the gym a little more, and like after the surgeries and stuff, it was just like oh, I kind of feel good. And like, you know, I didn't work out when I was skateboarding like at all. You know, like it was just like drinking beer, smoking pot.
You know what I've heard talking about the sugar thing.
Yeah.
I've Tony actually broke this down to me 2 years ago, and I still remember the exact conversation because it really hit with me. He's talking about sugar and how sugar is essentially, for all these people, sugar is the same thing as like a nicotine addiction, right? You have a sugar addiction, but no one thinks they have a sugar addiction, right? Just like caffeine addiction, same exact thing, but no one understands they have a sugar addiction, how bad sugar is for you. But you have these little parasites in your body, essentially, okay? And they're eating and collecting the sugar. They're essentially, say these parasites are in your body, they're begging for the sugar. So you just automatically in your head, you just get stuff with sugar, and it's just like it just happens. It's just what you do.
Yeah.
It's what your
Or
body
all the
knows.
lab tests on rats and cocaine
Right.
and sugar and
So-
seeing what one they
that
go to
testing,
first.
Right. So you're addicted to the sugar. Your body is
Totally.
without you knowing it. But it's just like a nicotine withdrawal. You cut it out for 2 weeks, and you're good to go. But it's that 2-week period, and that's the hardest period. I just thought it was interesting. I mean, the way he broke it down was way more in depth. But you have these little parasites in your body, and that's making you addicted to these certain, essentially like drugs. Sugar is like a drug.
It is. No, it's 100%.
But people don't really understand that. It's a drug, and I mean, so is caffeine. You got to have a healthy balance with that. But you just got to have the clean caffeine. You know what I mean? You got to have some clean ass Dynamize in your system.
Number one source of antioxidants in the world.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really go anywhere with that, dude. But it's just super, super interesting because I never had anyone like actually break it down for me and the sugars and stuff like that, and how much of an impact it can make, and how better you can feel.
I was doing some crazy shit like back in the day. Just had no clue like what I was doing. So like my mom has been a nutritionist for years, and she would always give me like some new like cutting edge shit at the time, you know.
Yeah.
But I was just a little spoiled kid, didn't appreciate it, and I didn't really give her like the time of day because like. When I was growing up,
Well, all your friends are eating this shit, so why aren't you eating
dude.
that
And like
shit,
when I was younger, you know, I would honestly be like almost stressed when all my friends would come over because my house wouldn't have like the bagel bites or like any of these easy to make foods.
Yeah.
My parents were doing grass-fed beef, like getting their shit flown in from like Omaha, you know, like way back when, like, you know, in like early 2000s. Like no one's doing grass-fed beef then. And it was like weird because it's like, why the hell are you getting the beef like on the mail, you know? It seemed so weird at the time. Like I just felt so like this is strange, you know? And like it was almost like you felt like embarrassed, you know, that like your fridge was just filled of like
Healthy foods
or like foods that you just
fresh produce and shit, yeah.
Foods that you just couldn't prepare like in a split second, you know, like by throwing it in the oven or throwing it in the microwave.
That's cool. You
know?
were raised like that. That's really interesting.
But I didn't appreciate it at the time, you know.
Oh, you
I
never
was
know.
like,
No kids ever do
Of
until you
course
wake
not.
up and you're like, oh shit, wow, like
Yeah.
that was.
Did you have a
Thank you.
microwave in your house?
We did, but
Okay.
yeah, but like more because I mean I was just a little fucking kid like talking shit to my parents like, you know, all the other kids are having this big, and like my dad would always be like, no, we're not buying that shit, and then my mom would like freaking crack, you know, and like get it for me.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
always
And
the
so,
moms.
oh, totally. So it was like, I mean, no, my dad would be like, no fucking Cheerios, no Honey Nut bullshit, no like
No honey nut bullshit.
Yeah.
you know, like none of that crap. But then my mom would like buy it for me, you know.
Right,
so
right.
it was like, so I still had it growing up, but it was like a lot less. And then there like came a point where it was like I started like really kind of more listening to her a little bit. It also taught me how to cook because if I wanted food in my house, like I'd have to like make something like eggs or whatever, you know, even simple stuff that like people take for granted now, you know. But like back in the day, none of my friends could cook an egg. You know, some of them probably barely still can, you know. But
It fucking mind boggles me.
Yeah.
Like when I was like 7 years old, if I wanted breakfast, I'd wake up, I'd make like a full omelet.
Totally.
I'd slice up bell peppers, onions, eggs, throw it all in a pan.
Yeah.
And I was a little crackhead. I woke up early and I was just like, oh yeah, hey, let's whip it up for the whole entire house.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah.
I love that. I mean,
I was
so,
eating mini wheats. I can't say the same. at
yeah.
all.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
so,
it took him a minute to learn how to cook.
Oh, facts.
But like because of that, I learned how to cook pretty well, and now I love cooking. Like I
Yeah.
cook all the time, and it's just I cook probably 95% of my meals. You know, like eat out like very rarely. Not because I don't really like eating out, especially. I mean, I really enjoy going out to like good restaurants and stuff, but just because I enjoy cooking so much, that's like easy.
Well, it's
for
a lot
me.
better too. I mean, you're at home, you're in your own space. You make the
Totally.
meal you want to make.
Yeah.
You know where it's coming from. You know what's going on. It's cheaper. I mean, there's only benefits from cooking at home.
Yeah.
It's just actually getting down and
Yeah,
cooking
again,
at
buy
home.
ranch right meat, good
Yeah.
meat, force of nature meat, you
Yeah.
know, like all this stuff that is like promoting regenerative ag and healthy ag,
Yeah.
and just stuff that I want to support. Where it's like when you go out to a restaurant, who knows where they're buying it from? Typically grain-fed meat, typically like using shitty oils,
it's
and
fucked.
so it's like, so of course you're gonna have so much more control over what you're putting in your body that way. But I think that like when I really started, I mean, this is how crazy it got. For a while, like when my mom was doing MCT oil, like before MCT oil was a thing at all, before keto was even like spoken. The word keto was still in like the circles and like being used for kids with epilepsy and like doing seizures, like back up, it was used in the 50s, No one was doing keto, period. And so my mom would give me this MCT oil, and like she's like, you should check out this thing called bulletproof coffee. Like people are doing bulletproof coffee, and this was like my first year at UCI. And I was like, okay, well, it sounds like a cool concept, but I had no comprehension of like how bulletproof coffee like worked on the body and why it worked. I just knew that you should put some MCT oil in and like a little bit of butter. So what I was doing is I was literally doing MCT oil, coffee, butter, and then a bunch of chocolate syrup. Which, like, if you know anything about health now, like, that is, like, the worst.
A little contradicting.
Yeah, like, right? So you're going to get this, like, huge fat boost, and then you're going to have just as much of the insulin boost, that you're going to get from the sugar high, and it's just going to store all the fat that you're getting from the MCT oil and the butter on your body, So it's like, but I thought I was being quote-unquote healthy, but I just didn't understand, like, the mechanisms behind it all. So, like, these were like the little things that you're like thinking that you're doing the right thing. And then I got like more into lifting and kind of did like the quote unquote like more bodybuilding diet for a little while, like a little higher carb, low fat with my roommate. And again, it was just boring, like sucked. I didn't really enjoy it. Like you feel like groggy and stuff, when you're eating like high carb and whatnot. And I like wanted to put on size, and it was all it was about. But then I like really started diving into like the science and stuff behind the body, and like learning about like where your food comes from, and started like really going to my mom and like using her as a resource, and we like started bouncing stuff off her. And then I started like getting really involved, like Ben Greenfield podcasts, like, and some of these like I guess like influencers, if you want to say, health influencers, and just like all around good people, Mark Sisson, people that are like fighting the good fight against, Mark Hyman, all these people that are fighting the good fight against like the big corporate companies, and really like doing their best to promote like actual health and not what like the dietary guidelines say is healthy, and then once you kind of peel back those layers, then it's like you open up this whole world where it's like now, you get the biohacking, and you get like the the extreme exercise, and you get like these, the cold therapy, and it's just like a never-ending world that like I've entered into, and then it just compounds, and then you're like, oh wow, I want to try that thing, and now you're just like the curiosity builds.
See,
and then that's where I'm at now.
Yeah,
it's just
and
like,
all that shit, like I follow a lot of those people.
Yeah.
And they're opening so many people's eyes to the different diets and different shit that goes on.
Totally.
But from my aspect, growing up in the whole entire farming community and seeing how fucked up shit is, and so it's all these big companies that it's like, literally, him and I were watching a video, now 100% grass-fed. They literally had these cows on a conveyor belt going through a room, spinning in circles, eating grass. The animals are all fucked up, and like,
That's crazy.
and then like, 100%, the largest 100% certified organic fertilizer in the world is conventional cow manure, because it was processed through the animal's body.
Wow.
Then you start going into chemical after treatments. The fruits and vegetables can be grown 100% organically. Oh, but you can soak it or do a gas form of sulfur fluoride is a chemical after treatment as a preservatives. And that's 100% organic.
Yeah,
and so that's what all the big
companies. There's like a certain amount of
companies.
time they have to leave it, like they have to like store it and
Yeah.
let it fume off, because it technically is still like a fertilizer that is harmful to humans in a certain amount. But if they leave it at like a certain level for a certain couple like weeks, and it blows off, yeah, man, the manipulation's wild. When I took food law, it was a game changer.
And
like,
all the farmers are getting so fucked over back to back to back in every single one of these industries, because every single one of them's owned by a monopoly.
Totally.
Like 99.8% of the
6
coffee
companies
industry
own
is
it
three.
all.
Exactly.
And, like you see,
You see a new company come in and start to establish a name. Hey, we'll write you a paycheck to take over everything.
Yeah.
And
No, it's
so
crazy,
it's just
dude.
like small farmers are just disappearing left and right, because they'll say, oh, let's put together a contract. We'll buy all your product. oh shit, well yeah, sorry, we're gonna actually pay you half the price because the contract was written off the market price and Wall Street changed, so you can't pay your bills, but you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember when that's how I met you, was at the market. Like, I came up because, so I was doing a food law project, which was a super eye-opening class. I mean, I got very interested in nutrition, and then it kind of morphed into like starting experimenting with health, and I just started feeling really good, and like, you know, I would like experiment and add new foods or take stuff out, and then like I would just feel completely different. Like either I felt good or terrible, you know, add stuff back in, like go out and binge on donuts or whatever just to see if it like really mattered, and like feel like shit the next day, or like drink a bunch of beer and then feel like shit the next day. I'm like, wow, okay, like I can see how much better you can feel versus how worse. And my baseline was always just worse before. So like I didn't even know that I could feel that much better, right? Yeah. Because, you know, your baseline's just shitty, you know, and you're hungover always. So it's like, once I started getting involved with that, and I had the food law class, and it was like, wow, like the dots started connecting. And then I started doing some research into like the whole grass-fed, grass-finished industry, and how like that term has been so manipulated. And because like the FDA and the USDA like refuses to go ahead and get like a grass-fed designation, and to like say like how much percentage of, you know, grass the cows have to be fed before you can consider them grass-fed.
Well, and you know the fucked up thing about all the different certifications is most of the small farmers can't afford them, and they don't have enough books and paperwork to be able to go and qualify for the standards.
Yeah.
And so the only ones who are able to do it are the super large companies that are like, oh yeah, we have all our documentation, here you go, but we cut every single corner and went through every single loophole possible. But yeah, we have the standard, but the small guys who are really doing things the right way, they can't afford shit, so fuck you. Yeah. Like, yeah, I could go on rampages.
No, I love it, but that basically the reason that I found you guys was that I reached out to, and so at the time I was getting ButcherBox and stuff like that, you know, which at the time I think was cool. ButcherBox, they had a good idea, had a good business plan, but of course since they've taken a lot of their meat overseas and started working with farmers, you know, in South America and whatnot, which I'm like, I'd rather have more companies that are working in California and locally in the United States. So for me, it was like, okay, you know, how can I go like contact these people? Are we done?
No, keep going.
Oh.
Keep going.
Yeah. So like, how can we go ahead and contact these folks and like go ahead and see what what the procedures are for like getting that designation, you know, because a lot of people wouldn't talk to me. ButcherBox wouldn't talk to me. Honest Bison wouldn't talk to me, you know, and I just wanted to hear like, how hard is it for you to get these designations, you know, and they were so nervous to talk because of some of the ag-gag laws and some of these, you know, that they didn't want to get sued. But Brian from Buy Ranch Direct was totally willing to talk to me. Yeah. And it was rad. And I was like, you know what? Okay, well, if this guy, I mean, first of all, I needed some research. So then, and he was like, answered all my questions, was super attentive. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to support this company because they know what's up. And then I went and started getting your guys' meat, getting your organs and stuff like that, and was, you know, super impressed with the quality. And then sure enough, came up to you that one day. And then, you know, I instantly knew you know what the hell you were talking about, you know, because, like, we just rapped out for, like, 30 minutes nonstop. And it was like you were just rattling the stuff off. And, like, I know a lot, too, in that realm. You know, not nearly probably as much as you do, but it was a good conversation. Yeah. And then sure enough.
So you probably know way more than I do on like the health side, like how to properly structure your diet and all of that stuff. Yeah. I just know how the shit's grown. Totally. And I know the people growing it.
Yeah. No, but I mean it's a scary world out there when you see like when you peel back the layers behind the food industry and you see like I mean, I don't know, I know you know Zach Bush and Mark Hyman wrote that book Food Fix. And it really kind of sheds light on just like dude, the corporate monopolies on some of the food industry and just like how you have a company like fucking Beyond Meat or Impossible that is selling these poor people, you know, that are trying to make literally a health change in their life and trying to be quote unquote sustainable. Yeah. And they buy this freaking food that has 27 ingredients in it. Yep. And it is trying to be imitation meat when you literally can have grass-fed meat and it's one ingredient, and why would you need 27 to make that? You know what I mean? And it's not sustainable anyways because you're using GMO soy, you're using freaking...
And you know where the fertilizer is coming from?
Yeah, fucking Roundup.
No, well
Monsanto.
Cows.
Oh.
No,
so, you wish.
No, well, all the chemicals and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you go into Monsanto and the glyphosate and the largest produced chemical in the world and all of that good stuff. But it's just really a lot of those fertilizers, even for all the different soy operations and stuff, a lot of that manure is coming from pig operations, cow operations that are 100% conventional. And so they're eating corn and soy. It's going right through them. Oh, a water-soluble compound that they just ate, which is going to stay in their shit, which is going to go in their fields, and now they're certified.
sure.
Like,
Keep talking, bro.
yeah.
What the fuck?
And so it's just like, really, you go in the toxicity levels of anything that you're actually eating nowadays, or you could go in a whole nother rabbit hole and look at fluoride in water and breakdowns on that end. And it's just like everyone thinks that's how you're supposed to feel, and everyone has just settled with so much shit. And I get so pissed off going into all of it.
Oh,
it's
for
like
sure.
not pissed off. Like, I understand. Like, dude, I still go out and I eat in and out. I live a normal life to a certain extent, but I know what I'm putting into my body.
Totally.
Whoa. Normal life.
In-N-Out is bomb.
Yo, no, In-N-Out's
How
bomb.
many
No.
times do you guys eat In-N-Out a week?
Well,
Because there was a time that I was
honestly,
doing
dude,
In-N-Out when I was
my new
skating.
thing is Cane's, which is not good for you, but like I
Oh,
fucking
I've
love
never been
Cane's,
there.
dude. Dude, that shit is
Is that
so
where they
Oh,
come
good.
out
fuck.
on roller skates?
No,
No, that's Sonic,
Oh,
bro.
Sonic.
I had Sonic the first time when I was
See,
in Mississippi.
Sonic's fucking disgusting.
Sonic's
It's like
gross.
fried
I don't
chicken?
fuck with
Yeah,
that.
Cane's is fried chicken.
Oh no, dude, no.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. But it's also, it's COVID season, bro. I'm
Yeah.
fucking cruising out here with my dad.
Skinny
We're
fat.
chilling. Dude. Skinny fat. No, it's super interesting though. Like, hearing you guys talk about it, and then Brandon's talked to me a lot about it because Brandon's really educated on that stuff, and so
sure
are
he
you
is.
as well. But no, dude, you can't be perfect. But at the same time, know what you're intaking in your body. You try and limit it as much as you can, and then, dude, the best way to fucking do it, how Brandon and I break down every source, is follow the money trail and who actually owns the company. Because a lot of people think these companies, so to speak, are still good companies, but they get bought out year 2.
Dude,
you know,
absolutely.
and
Well-
they're on year 7. They changed their shit. They're mass produced now.
Absolutely.
It's not the same ethics it was when you bought it fucking 4 years ago. You know, the ethics have completely changed. The whole dynamic of the company, yeah, it started out with a very honest product, a very good quality thing, but now it's being mass produced and the quality drops.
Well,
As soon as you mass produce in that aspect, in that realm, your quality drops. Automatically.
Well, it's the same exact thing with us. Why wouldn't we work with any investors or any BS? Because they wanted to sacrifice that quality and do different
exactly,
things. And it's just
exactly.
like, hey, you guys can go.
It's all greed based. What we said earlier. It's all okay. Why would you pay this much to take care of the farmer because their mindset's fuck the farmer, let's make money. You know, I'm like
man.
you can make a totally comfortable living the way we have it set up, and take care of everyone, the consumer, the farmer, ourselves, all the employees, everyone, the whole fucking shebang. But they want to make an extra. Say they're running 5 million, they want to make an extra 500K or extra million, so they're gonna fuck over everybody,
It's just like
including the
5 cents.
consumer,
I
everything.
think
It's
it
like
was
5 cents a
tomato-
fucking package
Dude,
or whatever
yeah.
you'd
would've
say it
been-
would.
For
Yeah.
us, for changing shit, it would have ended up being, for the system we designed, it would have changed it by about 4 cents a unit.
Yeah.
4 cents a
Maybe-
unit, but that
maybe-
4 cents is gonna end up fucking the farmer
Oh, for
or
sure.
whoever. Someone's getting fucked.
I think there was like a petition I remember for like tomato pickers down in Florida. There was a while where like there's some shit grocery store.
Yeah.
And there was a case about this, but like basically these freaking farmers, right? All they wanted was 1 cent more per tomato.
Yeah.
And these people are picking like, thousands of tomatoes a day.
That's the thing with
You know what
coffee,
I
it's
mean?
all
And
handpicked.
So it's like
Well-
as many as you can put in your bucket, and then you go up to the thing and they give you a ticket. And so they're just like running, and there's like, they're working in the freaking fields all day picking
Dude,
these
I could
tomatoes.
play the double-edged
And
sword on this
1
one, though.
cent.
Because it's that 1 cent a lot of the time. But what a lot of in the labor force have done is they've learned they can cry fucking wolf. They literally carry an OSHA card around with them. It's just like, hey, to be honest, in that industry, you know what the fuck you're getting yourself into when you're going there and doing all of that. But
Yeah.
there's all kinds of people who are just like, oh yeah, they mistreated me. And so that's where a lot of farmers have been getting fucked over at the same exact time. Even though these people are making $15-20 an hour, which would be a good, considerable job, or they say, hey, you get paid by picking off this much. The average person can pick this much. And it's almost a commission-based structure by getting paid for what you actually do.
Yeah.
But now
You know what you're signing up for, but you at the same point you don't know what you're signing up for. It sounds good in theory until you actually do it, and you're 2 months in, and you're like, "Yo, what
yeah,
the
it's 100
fuck am I
degrees,
actually
and
doing?"
I'm picking all
Yeah.
this.
You know, it
it's
sounds
fucked.
really cool, and then you get there, and it's fucking not cool at
But
all.
then next thing you know, you have OSHA coming in and knocking on the small farm's door. Oh yeah, they said they threw out their back. Now it's $100,000 lawsuit, and that farm's completely going under because they're running $250,000, $300,000 a year.
And it's
in
on the
revenue.
farm. It's
Yeah.
not on the company taking the product.
No,
from
I
the
get
farm.
that. I mean,
Which
that-
is what that's the fucked part.
at
But
the
that's
smaller
the
level-
that's the whole get go from the very beginning. Don't fuck over anyone from the very beginning. Just help everybody out. Get
Yeah.
everybody on the same page. Make sure everyone's good, so you don't have those fucking problems and no one's being fucked over, and you're good to go. It's
Totally.
gonna cost you 4 cents a fucking unit. Boo fucking who, dude?
Yeah.
Swallow your pride. You fucking got Jeff Bezos out here. His fucking net worth got cut in half. He still has I think it went back up to like 152 billion or some shit.
Right,
Okay.
give it nothing
Bernie
away.
Sanders, I just saw something earlier today, is trying to do the billionaire tax. It's a one-time tax. He's trying to tax Jeff Bezos fucking 30, 40, 50, $55 billion, and he's trying to tax Elon Musk one time 28 billion. Or something like that. I might be off a couple numbers there.
Yeah.
But it's a one-time billionaire tax. But it's like, how fucking greedy do
Well,
you need to be? These people.
See, I could play the double-edged sword on this shit too, though.
How?
And well, from the money.
If you took that much fucking money and were fucking people over, I'd slap the fuck out of you, though.
Well, no, if you're fucking people over.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing is, can the government manage your money that much
Oh,
better?
I'm not
than
even talking about the taxes,
and
though.
if
I'm
the
just talking
government
about,
comes
like,
in and does
I'm
it,
talking
because
about
I
how
see all
greedy
kinds
the
of
people
fucked
are.
up shit
I
the
like-
government
I
does
like,
that I don't.
I'm
just talking about how
Bernie's-
greedy the people are.
Yeah,
though. You know what I mean?
I like his idea about the Wall Street tax. I think that one is. I mean, I haven't seen this billionaire tax, but the Wall Street tax, where you just throw 1 cent on the Wall Street transactions for the day traders. If you tax literally 1 cent on each transaction for the day traders who are making hundreds of trades a day, yeah, they're gonna cry fucking wolf. But who gives a shit? They're making a ton of money anyways.
Exactly.
You can literally put like tons of people through free education just on that one tax alone. You know what I mean? So you can instantly solve. Like,
See, I'm totally with that. I'm
you
not. I
know?
wasn't even saying I'm with Bernie's billionaire tax, because I
No.
think if you make that money, dude, you're entitled to that money.
Yeah.
But I'm saying how greedy the people are from the start. Like, dude, you really had to make that extra 4 cents? What are you
Yeah.
doing with that fucking money?
No,
you know,
totally.
Start it right from the start, and just fucking help everybody out.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
saw this
If
other
everyone's on the
article. It
same
was like
page.
talking about all the richest people in the world. The top 30 richest people in the world could save the entire world from fucking hunger.
Yeah.
The top 30 of them,
Just
and
like
still
that.
have
Yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
I don't even remember how much money they'd have in their bank account, but
I
they
know.
are
I was just
totally
debating
taken
my
care of.
brother on this actually the other day while we were running, talking.
It's just
about
like ethics,
Bezos.
dude. It's just
Yeah,
ethics
and,
and
like,
greed and fucking. It's just
He was
ridiculous.
saying how Bezos like employs so many people and like, you know, like he's just a better businessman and like, you know.
See,
because-
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he is and stuff, but like, I've also heard that working for Amazon is a fucking mess. You know, like they grind. Your
I've
ass
heard
to
a
the-
bunch
I've-
of
I've
shit.
heard-
I
I've
know
heard
people
that
who've
shit,
worked for him.
Like, and they fucking make your ass work, which is a good thing. But at the same time, like if you look at their like injury rates and stuff, like at their warehouses, like
Yep.
their packing rates, it's through the roof because these people are like slipping out because they're literally like expected to pack like 50 boxes an hour. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So they're like running to grab like whatever you are looking for.
Basically, the way I look at any of these giant corporations and giant companies, the reason why they're at what they're at, somebody got fucked over in the
For
deal.
sure.
Oh
somewhere.
no, that's exactly.
Absolutely.
Somebody is getting fucked over. If your fucking net worth's that high, you fucked over somebody or
Yeah.
a lot of people or something
Yeah.
somewhere in
Have
the
you
somewhere
read
down the
Food
boat.
Fix?
Food Fix, I actually have.
Dude, you should read that. I mean, you probably know a lot of it, but I think that it would be a good primer. Maybe you too, if you're interested
Yeah,
in
for
it.
sure.
But like, Food Fix by Mark Hyman, he lays it out very much in like layman's terms of just like how the industry has slowly just taken over. Pretty much like in 6 companies now, pretty much own everything. You know, you got your Tyson, you got your PepsiCo, you got your Coca-Cola, and just like General Mills, whatever. And it just is like all these
Monopolized.
little companies that you know have now been bought up, but at the end of the day, like
They're all
the
owned
same.
by one. Yeah.
And what the worst part is that like they literally
Well,
manipulate
and those
people so
yeah.
bad to think that like you're buying a healthy product, you know, like the Beyond
That's
Meat
the
or
thing
whatever,
that no
you
one
know?
knows exactly.
Yeah, and
Everyone
that's what-
thinks they're
that's
eating
what
healthy.
kills
That's
me the
that's
worst,
what bums
is
me
like people go through the drive-through line at Carl's Jr., right, and they get a Beyond Meat burger because they think they're
It's
honestly
healthy.
doing the ethical and healthy thing. they think that's better than literally the grain-fed
It's
meat,
fucking mind blowing.
you know?
Like when
And,
I
like,
tell people at the farmers market doing the coffee market, and
Yeah.
same with Brandon, like you like people, because people always say, oh, well, I'm eating this and that, and you actually tell them where it's coming from.
yeah,
They're like, well, what? They're
Yeah.
like, their whole fucking life just fucking blew up in front of their fucking eyes. They're like,
Yeah.
I've been doing that for 2 years though.
we
What do
have
you
the
mean
Game
it's not? What do you
Changer
mean it's not
documentary
good?
come out, like that Game
Yeah,
Changer.
yeah.
Well, you can make
It's
it
like,
really
dude.
easy on the labeling aspect. If the companies are owned by conglomerates, you have to have that label.
conglomerate sticker or
Yeah,
something.
you have to
Yeah.
have, okay, owned by so-and-so, owned by so-and-so.
Totally.
Next thing you know, you
But
see
no one
every
even knows
single...
how to read a label anyway.
Well, not even that. It's like, okay, well, you own this many companies in this industry. Fucking great. Your label's going on every single one of them. You can advertise them as different choices,
Yeah.
but then people will start to do a lot more research on all the extra shit going on. But why are you able to own 400 different companies in the same exact industry?
Totally. Yeah. Where's the fucking like antitrust
And
on
so,
that?
well, that's exactly it. And
Yeah.
so many people go and they think they're buying a healthier choice, but they're they're supporting a smaller company, but
That's all
it's
I'm
a
saying.
complete misconception.
Yeah, and then the name's like, I don't know, like something
They're
like
fooling
Healthy
everyone, which
Choice.
is fucked.
It literally will be called Healthy Choice.
Yeah.
You know, but it's bullshit.
Healthy
It's
choice
like,
to who?
Yeah, but that's, I mean, and it like has
Yeah.
this packaging of like a small farm, and like, you know, it has this like, you know, or like,
Well, that's our biggest thing in the coffee industry. Why Brandon and I go down to the farms.
yeah,
You know, and we go to the farm personally,
totally.
and we document it
Yeah.
because a lot of these companies say they go to the farm, which is bullshit.
It's
They got stock
bullshit.
photos
Yeah.
and all this other bullshit, right? So we personally go down the farms, get documentation of us at the farms, build a relationship with these farmers, and actually put in the hard work and the time. And granted, dude, we do have fun,
Hell
and it's
yeah.
super rad to go
Let's go to
fucking
Costa Rica, why not?
go to unique places and
Yeah.
shit like that. But
You got to get content.
all these
Fuck
companies, yeah, right.
That content, that video's
these,
good.
All
man.
these companies are just bullshitting everyone, and like
Totally.
just even talking about like the certification organic and all these other things, and like all these people at the farmers market are quote unquote healthy, right? They want to be
Yeah.
as healthy as possible. That's why they're at the farmers market, you
Yeah.
know, or they want one goodie or something, you know. And they talk about all this stuff like, oh, well, I eat this organic product or this organic product and that organic product. You actually tell them what's going on, dude. None of them actually know what the fuck's going on.
Of course not.
And all these companies are just fooling fucking everyone,
Yeah.
you know, because they buy this company a year in, 2 years in, and then the product just it has to go to shit. How
Yeah.
the fuck did it was in 10 stores, now it's in 20,000. You
Yeah.
think it fucking stayed the same? You think they got their product at the same fucking small farm? Absolutely not. It's just
Yeah.
not possible.
Well, there's ways to...
But people don't look at it like that. People don't know. I didn't really know until fucking Brandon really told me, and then I dove into it, and then Brandon's telling me more shit.
Well, and there's different ways with shit that really we've spent the time on designing with
Yeah.
working with small farmers, doing every single aspect the right way from A to Z, where you could be in 60,000 locations, 100,000 locations. Like 7-Eleven alone has over 60,000 locations.
Yeah.
Circle K has over
Oh,
15,000.
if we blow
And
up, when
so-
we blow up, we're gonna do it the fucking right way. 'Cause
Well,
we're not gonna sell out, and
But
we know
there's
where
ways
we're,
to do
we're
it the
going.
right way, putting together relationships with different farms, setting those standards, and having clear communication.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, dude, let's build a relationship. Let's open it.
But you gotta stay privately owned.
Well,
That's the
that's
thing.
it.
As soon
That's
as you
exactly
go from
it.
not
You could-
privately owned, you're fucked. But you can
Yeah.
stay privately owned and
But
still
there's
hit
been
all
a
these
couple
stores.
companies that have done it pretty well. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I would say that, like, if you look at, like, Primal Kitchen, for example, right? Like,
So they got bought out, dude.
yeah, I know they did.
Okay.
But like, if you know what was baked into that contract, there's actually some pretty cool stuff baked into that contract. Like, Mark
He
Sisson,
knows this. He knows this
yeah.
shit really well, dude.
Mark
That's the guy to
Sisson,
talk
like, has a lot of still, like,
creative
Say.
consultative and creative say over, and he also is making some of the company like change some of their practices in order to buy Primal Kitchen, right? Who was bought by, I think, Heinz.
Heinz,
to.
Yeah.
Heinz
So like they have to start doing some of the regenerative agriculture practices in their other production by like the next few years. He also doesn't. He wants so like his whole goal with Heinz was basically to get more people the ability to get that product.
more access.
I mean, more access,
access.
you know, because once you're in Heinz, like their distribution, like you're fucking all over.
I can
Yeah.
agree he did it the
You
right
know?
way, but at the same time, he did it the wrong way. But in that position, dude, to get your product in that many locations, how it blew up so quickly with all their contracts, shit like that, it's fucking nearly impossible to lock
Yeah.
all those down without getting someone
Yeah.
of that size.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, like at the end of the day, like it is a sellout move, right? But like Look at Epic Bar.
He's
too.
old though.
You know,
but it's like really at that point. Yeah. No, I'm not talking shit on him. I like understand why it's like, hey, how long can you really take on this battle? Yeah. I know a lot of people who personally run that company and I have great relationships with them. And I think shit was truly done the right way.
As best to their ability they could.
Yeah. And
what about Epic Bar? You know, they got bought by General Mills. They have to make, and General Mills apparently is also having to do regenerative agriculture for their wheat production, like by 2024.
But do you think their product fucking goes down? Do you think their product, the actual shit that goes into the product, you think the product declines? Obviously, the product's in a million stores now, but do you think
basis. But, I mean,
do you think they're using the same ingredients, the same fucking healthy natural ingredients?
I don't honestly know. I mean,
that's where my shady sketchy factor comes in.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it just doesn't sound possible. Like, how did you just
source that much all of a sudden?
Yeah, how did you just times 30 your product, right? The quantity of your product, and keep the same exact ingredients, and it's supposed to be the best ingredients on earth. Where did that fucking come from? And if we have that much, where the fuck's it at?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen like the details of it, but those guys are now doing the force of nature shit.
Do you have a better answer for that? Like, I really don't know either.
Really, I to be straight up, I haven't done a lot of research on either of those companies. My connections with Primal Kitchen is I know a lot of people who run that company.
Right.
It's like,
I've met a couple of them.
Yeah, I went to Mark's house a number of times. I know Morgan. She's the president. I know Kelly, she's
really?
Yeah,
that's badass.
So
how did you get involved with them? Just from
customers.
Really?
Yeah,
that's badass, man. I love that. That's so cool.
And so it's just like I know a lot of people involved with that company, and they're great people, and they truly do have a bunch of integrity behind them. But as for Epic Bar, it's one of my friends who owns Sea Snacks. It's another healthy food product.
Yeah, I know Sea Snacks.
Yeah, she actually, dude, she does so much shit behind the scenes, ensuring quality control. It is insane on her labeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she's never pushed it. And so as soon as she starts to push it, because now there's other companies, she created the first seaweed snack, and now all of these other giant companies have just created a way cheaper product, but it's because they cut every single corner possible.
Of course.
But wrapping back around to Epic, I don't know exactly what they did. I don't know their distribution channels. I don't know how much.
But what's your overall outlook on, say your volume fucking goes from 10,000 stores to 1 million stores? Do you think you can keep the ingredient list the exact same? You know what I mean? That's my stipulation with all of that.
I don't know their ingredients to tell you the production capacity based off the nation or throughout the world.
Though, you know, I mean, it's like nitrate free.
It's basic ingredients, but that have become very rare, or else everyone would be doing it. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I think that you can like scale that
dehydrated.
stuff up.
You can absolutely scale that
it's
stuff
pastured
up.
eggs, and it's like pastured chicken, and like, you know, like celery and a few other things, you know, like in there, and it's just like exactly dehydrated and just pressed out in a bar. So like I think that, I mean, if there's 9,000 stores right now with grass-fed beef on their shelves, then why not? Could you not make those 9,000 bars?
And so,
legitimately still. I hope so.
No, you still can absolutely do it. The thing is, on the protein quality from the distribution channels and the chains, I understand. I'm gonna go into way too much shit on the podcast, really, the breakdown.
We already shut down the video. I kept this shit going because this is how I want to shoot podcasts later on anyway. I want to have longer podcasts where it goes from video and then it drops into the rest audio. And, you know, we're diving into good shit. I think it's going fucking good.
Yeah.
So I'm genuinely curious, dude.
Okay, I'll straight up break this down then. So, small farms in the meat industry.
Yeah.
From that end, a majority of them just straight go to auction. Okay. And so, when you go into grass-fed, grass-finished, everything along those lines, it really...
Greg, come up in the conversation, bro. You're a vegan. Come hop in.
Are you vegan?
Actually, if you're hopping in, I'm going to take a piss real quick, and I'm going to come right back.
All right. Go take a piss. What? No, you're all good, bro. That mic's on the whole time.
Come on down.
Come on down. No, we should go skate though.
I'm so down, man.
We should. I know you're busy as shit. We're busy as shit too. We're doing
a
cool ass giveaway next month, dude.
Really?
It's gonna be rad. I got a lot of shit cooking right now. I've been busy.
I saw you guys doing. So you're working with that. Was it Primal Coffee?
Oh, we just did a giveaway with them. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool dudes. They're out of San Diego. They actually have a really good product. I have some of their creamers.
Really?
I'll give you some if you want. Dude, it
I
has like
told
18
you
grams
that
of protein.
I told you that I wanted to do a creamer company. Didn't I tell
Yeah,
you that
yeah.
originally?
I'd
Yeah,
look
so-
into them because I was talking to Brandon. I was like, dude, it'd be smart to fucking get in this collagen game as well.
Yeah.
Just another product to tack
Dude,
on. It's so expensive too.
100%.
It's so
I
expensive.
mean, the
They sell it
collagen,
for a fuck ton.
Vital Proteins. I was just looking at that company, just out of nowhere, went through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
And the guy made the company like 3 years ago. And
Really?
it's just, yeah, dude.
No
Now,
shit.
I mean, they sold out too. The guy looks like he needs a bunch of collagen, anyways. I don't know. It's one of those things
You
where
don't
like,
need headphones.
yeah,
no, that's interesting. I think you should get in that game. I think it's a good game. There's
Yeah.
a solid market for it and shit
for
too.
creamers.
Yeah,
Nah,
because
that
dude,
was-
coffee's
that ship has
fucking
sailed.
coffee's hard, bro.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Coffee's hard. Like, it's not. I mean, starting any brand's hard though. Like,
Yeah.
everyone thinks it's like super easy. We've fucking honestly realized like, damn, it's not. That's hard. But we have like a solid team right now and like a lot of cool shit going on and stuff like that. And
I think you
doing
guys
a lot
do
of,
really well on content and like really well. Like, I mean, you have a good like direction and just overall like visual like vibe. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
really hard to build for a brand.
Yeah.
I think that's like probably like where a lot of places go wrong is that
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
don't really
yeah.
have a direction of where they want to go.
Yeah.
But like you guys are selling like a lifestyle as well as like the product.
Well, yeah, you gotta sell like a movement essentially. So
Totally.
coffee is just our way to tap into that. Just be the best person you can be. You know,
Yeah,
everybody
just
needs to
fire
wake
the fuck up and go.
Exactly.
Love
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff going on, man. In the next
Yeah.
2 months, I'm trying to blow us up times 4
Let's
in
do
the
it,
next 2
dude.
months.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of cool stuff cooking with that, and
Yeah.
should be interesting, man.
It's fun to be on the ride. Like, I mean, when I started rapping out with him, right? So I came over and like met you guys, and he gave me a cold brew, and I like left there. I'd already had 2 coffees that day, and I was drinking the cold brew, and just like went through the fucking roof. I remember like I DM'd you after. I'm like, dude, my
yeah, you
heart
did, I
is
remember.
fucking palpitating right now because you gave
Yeah.
me some light roast cold brew, like a tall thing, and I love coffee, so I put it down, you know. But
yeah.
like,
Our cold brew's so good. Dude, we'll
Yeah.
pound our
Oh,
cold
it's
brew.
insane.
We haven't had a keg at our house in fucking 6 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
But did you get the crash off that cold brew or anything? Because I've never got a crash from Dynamize coffee where
Yeah.
other coffee I've drinking and it's high caffeine content and it just ruins my day on the come down.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was flying for a while, but I wouldn't say that like I had a crash necessarily. I don't think I've ever really had like a coffee crash.
See,
hard.
I don't think I have either.
You
though.
know,
but I
like-
just started drinking coffee when we started Dynamize, to be honest. I was not
Yeah.
a coffee connoisseur.
I have
Right.
had a fucking caffeine like withdrawal like day one time because I do a lot of like fasting, you know, and like one day I just was trying to be like a hard ass and just cut everything one day. I'm like, I'm gonna do 3 days, no coffee, no nothing. And day one, I was literally like in the fetal position with like the worst headache of my life, like just
Oh, we know
it
what
was
that's about.
pounding, dude.
Yeah,
and like
been
I
there.
literally felt like I was gonna throw up, and it was the worst. Like got through it, decided not to drink coffee. Still, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like chill. I made it this far, you know. Like I was like, should I just freaking break it?
It's
Like I
those
just was, like,
parasites. Yeah, what I was talking about
Yeah,
earlier. It's like,
totally.
dude, you gotta. But it's getting past the breaking point because you have the same type of like withdrawal essentially with like sugar and shit like that.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know, So
Yeah, no,
It's
sugar is
fucking
way
interesting
worse
stuff.
even too. But
Yeah.
caffeine, man, is the shit. I mean, I think that like in good doses, you know, like
in good
again,
doses, bro.
yeah,
it's the bomb.
it's the bomb.
the
That even I've been doing a lot of like the caffeine along with some nicotine gum. I like do this like Lucy's. They do like probably one of the best nicotine gum that you can get. Still has like sucrose or something.
Dude, I
like
tried
some shit.
nicotine gum one time. And it was fucking terrible. I hated
Really?
it. I wanted to, dude. I was not my jam.
Yeah, I mean, well, like what, like Nicorette or some shit.
I have no idea.
But-
dude. Someone gave it to
If
us
you
or
do a
something.
lot of research on nicotine itself, it's really not
It's not
that
bad,
bad
at
for
all.
you at
No.
all.
It actually is like, I mean, there's benefits to
There's
it.
actually
like,
benefits,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
it opens your blood vessels, shit like
Totally,
that.
yeah.
The only problem with it is like the addiction.
Totally.
But you got to be able to control any addiction. You know, get
Yeah.
off it if you need to get off it. It's causing you problems. Get the fuck off of it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, it's just like for me. So like the cycle of nicotine is only about an hour. So like you feel kind of like high and like going for like an hour. So if it's like mid afternoon like slump and I'm like working on a brief or like typing some shit up and I'm like falling asleep at my desk, then I'll take like the nicotine instead of doing like another coffee at like 4.
Really?
Yep.
You know, so yeah, and like that will like power me through it. So like because I just track my sleep all the time. I love like freaking tinkering with sleep and stuff and just seeing how I can always maximize.
So
like, deep
yeah,
sleep.
how many hours do you usually get of sleep a night?
That's why he looks so much good compared to us.
We don't
That's
sleep.
why
Like
see-
7.
Okay.
7 is about usual. I mean, I try to like I'll give myself like close to 8 in bed, but I really only sleep about 7 of those 8. And like and of course it changes depending on like what I was doing before.
Are you deep sleeping like every time, or how's that work?
My deep sleep is probably about 2 hours worth.
Yeah.
You hear that?
It's a coffee maker turning on.
Love that. Yeah, deep sleep is probably about 2 hours average, you know, which is pretty good. But like, I always try to get it up to like 2.5, 3 hours, which would be ideal, you know. But it just depends on what I've been doing before I went to bed. If I've been on the computer right up until the time I went to sleep, even with the blue light blockers on, like, good luck, you know. Like, I won't get into deep sleep for like a few hours into sleep. But like, normally I'll drop right into it.
Dude, that's interesting. I feel like my sleep's so fucked then. Like, it has to.
Dude, I feel like I go straight.
Because you've been wearing, I've seen those on because I'm like, those are blue light blockers on the podcast. I'm like, you're for sure wearing those.
Yeah.
Because you can tell when they are. These are those too.
I feel like I'm a really good deep sleeper, dude.
Oh, you knock out immediately.
I hit the bed, fucking zasted. But it's weird.
What's considered deep sleep?
REM cycle, right?
No, REM is the opposite.
Really?
So yeah, so deep sleep is actually like the most restorative type of sleep. REM is your rapid eye movement. That's when you're like dreaming. So REM is also very good for like memory consolidation and like learning and just rejuvenation like of the mind.
Yeah.
Whereas deep sleep is all like repair of your body, of your brain. So like if you go for a hard workout or like you go for a run or something like that, and you want to build muscle, a lot of that is happening during your sleep. So so you want that deep sleep. So that's like ideal, you know? And so like REM is great too, especially if you're like learning and doing like academic work. Like you want to make sure you get that REM sleep, but deep is definitely like the ideal to have in terms of like athletic performance.
Does your ring work very well? Like, is it really good or what?
I mean, there's
like, is it worth it? I remember I talked to you briefly about it.
I've heard all good things about them.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, the NBA just started using them. I don't know if you saw that, but the NBA just got a contract with Oura Ring, where all the people in like the NBA bubble or whatever that they're doing in Orlando, they're all wearing the Oura Ring, and they're wearing it not necessarily for sleep. It's also tracks your body temperature. So they're doing it to monitor whether or not. It
tracks your body temperature.
Yeah.
You're fucking kidding me, dude.
So like during sleep, dude, it does a whole bunch. I'll show you like the system is dope.
That's crazy. Aren't you wearing like a Garmin watch right now too? Doesn't that track all kinds of shit?
Yeah, but this is way more like
You're like
this
a
is
fucking
way
cyborg, dude.
I got this shit on my ankle too, dude. Look at this. On house arrest.
What the fuck is that?
What is that?
I bet people think you're on house arrest.
Yeah.
They're like,
I know. It's just.
what is that thing?
So this is something that I'm working with this company called Apollo Neuro. It's like literally. Dude, it's one of those ones that's like I'm just testing out to see if it's really even worth it. It like sounds kind of weird to even be like legit.
Dude, nothing sounds weird.
Okay,
anymore,
I know,
honestly.
but like okay,
seriously.
so I'll pull up like the app. So it's like this app, right?
Yeah.
And then it has all these different like modes, and basically what it does is like
that's the ring.
No, this is the thing on my ankle.
Okay.
Yeah, so like this thing sends these like basically like different vibrations through your body.
Yeah. And
it's kind of like gonna kind of feel as if you were like being touched, you know, as crazy as that sounds, but like that helps with HRV.
Well, you totally have that already. Like, you know, when you like think your phone's vibrating in your pocket because you're so used to it. Do you guys ever have that?
Yeah,
and
sure.
your phone's not in your fucking pocket and shit. So is that like similar thing? I guess?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess just in these different like the different I guess cycles that they put this through is like in line with the natural like rhythm of and vibrations of your body, you know, which are like your body already works on like is a network, and it works like on vibration, on electricity, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on that like we don't really think about, and that's why
5G.
That's why electricity and EMS fuck you up. So like I've just been experimenting with, and like since I've had this thing, like my HRV's been going up like super heavy, even after like hard runs, like harder than I'd normally run.
Is that
in the
good
past.
or bad?
Higher is better. So typically, like the higher your HRV is, the more like rested your nervous system is. So it's like a direct correlation to like nervous system health is what your HRV is, and basically what HRV is.
So it just helps you track that, and helps improve.
Yeah. So the ring tracks the HRV, and this thing has been helping drive my HRV up.
That's
but like
crazy.
So wild.
Yeah, and it's weird. I mean, HRV is one of those things where like if there was one metric that I would recommend people track, it's probably HRV, because it's so easy to overtrain, you know, and like it's people don't necessarily know like when to stop and when to slow down. But if you listen to your body, I mean, ideally you'd have like the connection with your body enough to know when you're overtrained, but like if you have
Dude, you don't know
discipline.
that unless you're like a fucking nomad.
Yeah,
Unless you're
well,
so
exactly,
in tune with your
totally,
body.
and then just like I mean, and most people are like to the
There's too
grindstone,
much
like
shit
fucking
going on
go,
right now,
right? So
like,
it's like,
yeah.
so HRV is fun for me because I like always try to optimize, even if I'm like had a hard run that day or do a second workout or whatever, you know, I want to like wake up the next day like ready to go again. But there has been days where it's like pretty low, and I'll be like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm taking today off, you know. And then when I do that, it like comes back like stronger, you know. But if I would have been like, fuck it, I got to go for a run, like, you know, and then I like the following day, it's like real low.
That's
you know?
really, really cool.
And so it's like, and then you just, once you kind of see that enough times, and then you can kind of feel how you're feeling and like, you know, inside, like internally and just like mentally, then you're like, damn, okay, well maybe today is the day to like just do some
Chill.
yoga or active recovery or like whatever, you know, and just like stretch out, hit the ice bath, you know, it's like shit like that. So it's like, it's just another like biometric to track. But HRV for me has been one of those like, and sleep is directly correlated with that. So it's like the more sleep you can get, the deeper sleep you can get, like your HRV is going to go up.
You think all that shit really affects how your body's acting and your recovery rate and all that shit? Definitely.
I think so. I mean, dude, this day and age where like everything.
Yeah, I mean, you
is...
look fucking great for 29. You're in great fucking shape.
Still shook.
Like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
you're doing a ton of shit. I feel like you're always on the grind.
Yeah.
And I mean, so obviously it's worth it.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, I think
I just saw this cool thing, dude. Check this out. This is Brett Simpson. He posted something on his story today. Let me see. It has to still be on here, dude. He's doing this thing with a company. I thought it was the same company for a second. I don't think it is. Fuck. Hopefully it's still on here, dude. If it's not, that's a bummer. Fucking bummer, dude. That sucks. Dude, he was wearing this fucking vest, and it had like 4 of those little things that are on your ankle inside the vest, and it was like it was a recovery thing, and he was wearing it while he was surfing, and he said it was fucking amazing, and it was like it was like helping his recovery. I don't know what it was though, dude. I don't know. I'll have to look more into it and find it. I don't remember what it was or what was going on. I'll try and find it. But yeah, I mean, you guys, have you ever done the cupping? Have you done cupping before? That shit?
I have not. No, I mean,
I think that's kind of. I don't know how I feel about
it
that.
leaves some crazy ass like little freaking.
It looks cool for the camera, right?
Like welts.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah, dude. I don't know how
cupping.
like good that is for you. I mean, I'm sure it helps, but
Dude,
yeah, I
don't
haven't
know what
actually
this
done it
shit was
personally.
called.
I feel like there's better ways to increase
That's a
blood
bummer.
flow than that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you some ways, boys.
Increase blood flow?
Yeah, man. Well, circulation throughout your whole entire
there you go.
body.
Gotta get the blood flowing.
I'm done. Good shit.
I got a question about that the ring you're wearing.
Yeah.
How long have you been using it for?
Dude, going on like 2.5 years now.
No way.
Close to 3 years. Pretty much got it when I went into law school.
Okay.
And it was, dude,
You're
first
like,
of all.
how much is this gonna fuck me up? And then you
Dude.
get a ring.
Yeah, well, it was like, I mean, so Ben Greenfield was
Can I
like,
see it real quick?
yeah, for
What's
sure.
it look like?
And basically the whole thing was on like, he was like pretty
Seems
gung ho
so
about
light.
it. And it's like, it's the second like generation of the Oura Ring. And they like, dude, they have only gotten more and more legit. So it's like one of those things
These
where
things break easy or what?
No.
I've gone through like two or three of them. But like, I haven't had to buy it. They're like pretty good just replacing it. You know, so like one of them stopped, like the battery went out pretty quick, and so I like hit them up, and they like sent out a new one, and then I mean I don't like really like do deadlifts and shit with it on, you know,
Right.
so like a lot of my workouts I'll take it off.
I know what it is.
But yeah, so like this is like the kind of the format of like what it looks like, and so you have like all these different markers, and they have a shit ton of different markers. So it's like heart rate variability. See, last night, so today I took the day off because I did 10 miles yesterday with my brother, probably the longest I've run in a long time, and it was just like I could feel it. My body was like I'd done 6 the day before, and it was like
I need one of those. Though.
I really do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like resting heart rate, you know, like you can see as like beginning of the week 41, 40, 46, and as I started training harder and harder throughout the week, the resting heart rate started going up and up. And resting heart rate is basically a direct correlation of like how well your body is rested.
Mm-hmm.
And last night I went to dinner with my brothers and my dad and stuff, and we drank, and so like naturally your heart rate jumps up a bunch once you drink.
Right.
So like alcohol in your system like creates, so that's why it was like resting heart rate 53, that's pretty high for me. So it gave me like a little low readiness, and that was directly because of the drinking. And then because heart rate is up, then heart rate variability is typically down. So like heart rate variability is like the difference in between the beats of the heart. It's like normally if you have like an unhealthy heart, it'll just be the same beat all the time. And actually the healthier you are, the more like infrequent, there's like it's not like AFib, but it's like a little bit of a different variation in the amount of time between the beats. So the farther that you have in between those beats, the more like fitness, the higher fitness, or the higher like your nervous system is more like rested. So
that's interesting because I've always had my heart do stuff like that, and I always thought like, oh, maybe I have AFib because my dad has it or something like that.
Yeah.
And I've never heard someone explain it that way or anything. That it's not supposed to be perfect on rhythm.
No, it's definitely supposed to be like, I mean, of course, not to the point where it's like skipping beats.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but at the same time, there's supposed to be like a little bit of variation. And it's directly correlated to how like your nervous system is and like how much strain you've put on your body like recently. So like, you know, if you've done a lot of like parasympathetic work like meditation and yoga and breath work and stuff, like you can drive cold, all those things, you can drive your HRV up like pretty hefty. But then if you do like all like intense exercise, you know, HIIT training, whatever, like your heart rate will drop, or I mean your HRV will drop. So it's like I'm always trying to do like the hard shit, which actually over the course of your life, the harder training does like make your HRV go up if you give your body adequate time to like rest and chill.
So it's just really good at showing you when you need to rest, chill, when you should ice bath, when like the proper time to ice bath is and shit like that.
I would highly recommend it. I mean, dude, it's like one of those things where you think you go to sleep and knock the fuck out. I always thought that too, but like you'd be surprised at like how much time in bed you're actually spent like not sleeping, like kind of just like rolling over or like waking up quickly and just like being like restless and you know just
that's so interesting.
So it gives you a lot of insight, and
especially I mean if you look at it, in the fucking smart way to look at it. I mean your body's your vessel for this fucking journey, right?
Totally.
This fucking ride, like you're investing in your fucking self, just like
and I used to like do the burn it at both ends. Like when I first entered law school, I like wouldn't sleep more than 5 hours, and like I was just like fuck it, like I'm just go and like I've gotten more busy since, but I've made it a point to like dial up sleep like almost twice as much, you know, because
when do you typically like to go to bed?
Between 9:30 and 10 typically.
Yeah, I know we're holding you late too.
No, it's all good, dude. This is what I mean. I'm stoked, but it's just one of those things where I wake up early in the morning, you know, but I try to get like, if I want to get those 7 hours, you know, like I have to be in bed by like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Does it take you a while to go to bed?
Depends on the day.
Every day's different.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times when I'm working just like you, right up until the last minute, you know, and like because now with COVID and
me going straight to bed as soon as I get off the computer just doesn't happen. I'm up for another fucking 2 hours, but not even looking at anything, not even doing anything, dude. I'll just be up.
No, I totally. Well, I mean, you have the more clear blue light blockers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend that you get like the more orange ones. As goofy as they look, you know.
I don't care how goofy they are, bro. I got them to fucking help.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
My
eyes are already fucked up anyway, and I'm staring at a computer for 10 hours.
So like right now the ones you probably have, like I wouldn't say would probably block more than like 30% of the blue light. Because the clear lights really don't do that much. This is probably about 40, and these are one of the best like brands out there, Raw Optics. But like, Brett was telling me about Raw Optics. He fucking DM'd me the other day and was like, bro, you need to check out Raw Optics. And I was like, what the fuck? No, they're some of the best ones out there. But like, their orange ones are like dark, you know? But like, if I'm working on the computer, like doing, because with COVID and shit, right, the lines have been blurred between a work day and like your life. So like, you know, I might start work now at like 6 a.m. and knock out like 2 things before my partner's up so I can like send it to him. And then I'll go do my workout, or then I'll go like, you know, get some yoga in, do a walk, like read, whatever I do in the morning, you know, meditate, whatever, then like come back to work at like 10. You know what I mean? So like, and then same with the deal, like midday, instead of like being in the office, which I would just be like there from like 9 to 6 or 7 or something like that, and then go home. Now it's like you can just interject these little like 1 hour breaks or something. Yeah. But then also like if I didn't get all my work done, then right, like all of a sudden after dinner you're like, fuck, I gotta go back and do that shit, you know? So then you're back on the computer at like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. And so I can see like the correlation of like that, how much more that wrecks my sleep if I open the computer back up after like 8 or 9 and work that like last hour, 2 hours before bed, you know, and just being like trying. Because not only, I mean, you're on the computer, but you're also, like, your mind is racing because you're working on shit, you know, you're, like, writing arguments. I mean, you're, like, editing, whatever, you know, like, your mind, you're, like, kind of still going through mental gymnastics of your mind as you're still working, you know? And it's, like, keeping your mind, like, up past whatever, and when you should be kind of, like, winding it down, you know? Because my mind race just like yours, you know? So I'm, like, laying there in bed, like, fuck. You know, like, and then the more you want to go to bed, the like harder it is to go to bed. You know what I mean? You're
Okay,
like,
so to fix your cycle, did you at the beginning, because like to fix my cycle, it's hard and not hard. Like it's hard to fall asleep at fucking 9-10 o'clock. It's fucking extremely hard. I think for any of us, you know, occasionally you do, but I mean, then most of the time you'll fucking catch a fucking hour nap, and then you're fucked, and then you're up till midnight, right, Brendan? So, do you think? Like, did smoking help you get to that point? Like, whether it be like marijuana, did you take like edible? What type of stimulant did you use any type of stimulant to help you get on a fucking good cycle or what? Because like, honestly, like smoking will help me sleep. If I really can't sleep, I'll fucking smoke.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of just takes the discipline of doing it. Like, I think that a lot of people think that like waking up early is the discipline. Like for me, the discipline really comes
because waking up early, you should be tired by the time you get home, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the discipline really lies in like getting into bed at a decent time to wake up early, you know. And so it's like because waking up early isn't that difficult, you know, especially if you've had your adequate amount of sleep. But shutting Netflix off, shutting fucking Netflix off, or shutting your computer down, or getting off
Shutting down
Instagram
Vikings
at
2 a.m.
fucking 9, right, at 9 or 10 p.m. That's the discipline.
That's the discipline,
you
for
know,
sure.
or getting your shit done in time. To
My
be able
argument
to.
right now is we're just younger. You know, I thought you were our age, but fuck, dude, you're an old man, so it's
Yeah,
easier.
I am an old man.
See, I go to bed, or like I fall asleep pretty easy when I want to go to sleep, but then I wake up, and a lot of the times I will wake up, and I just have a million fucking things going through my head, and I'm just like, well, I'm up, but I'm tired still, and I'm not ready to get up. I didn't have enough sleep.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, oh shit, well, I guess I'm not gonna fall back asleep. Let's get at it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you. I think it definitely like takes a little bit of time. I take CBD pretty much every single night. I don't smoke much anymore at all.
Yeah.
I think actually like if you look kind of at the research on like smoking and sleep, THC in particular like actually doesn't necessarily promote like restful
doesn't promote
sleep.
it, yeah.
It more just knocks you out. It's like alcohol, you know.
Yeah, it
so
just
like
puts me in a fucking mental state
It
where I'm
stops
like,
a REM
whoop.
sleep too. You
It
can't
does.
REM sleep on THC or anything, which is not good for you.
Yeah, so exactly. So it's like where CBD is the opposite. CBD is like pretty much all deep, a little bit of REM too.
What is that, Greg? What are those edibles? The CBD sleepy edibles. What is in
they
there?
have CBN in them.
CBN.
Which is
Have you heard of CBN at all?
It's a spin-off of CBD, and not spin-off. It's almost similar molecular compound, but it's slightly different. And it gets made from the plant when like the cold hits it or something like that towards the end of it. And it's supposed to put you in a really like deep sleep, they say, and everything. So like a lot of people are making CBD and CBN edibles. And so like, they don't get you high, but
yeah, I love CBD, man.
There's
I take it
CBG
all
too.
the time.
yeah, there's CBG.
there's
I
like
take
a
it every
hundred.
day. I mean, CBD is one of those things where it's like it's kind of like weed too. You know, I mean, there's a long time where like depending on what you put with the weed, it can kind of like take the form of what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like if you smoke some pot and then drink like a bunch of coffee or espresso, then like suddenly you're like on one. You know what I mean? It like enhances like the espresso and like you're like woo. You know, or if like if you're like drinking and you smoke, like suddenly you're fucked up. You know, like and then. It just kind of like merges to what you're doing. I think CBD is really similar to that, where it's like if you take some CBD and then you do like a little bit of caffeine or something like that, it kind of like
it increases the blood
enhances.
flow almost, so it just allows the caffeine to almost flow through more.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard at least.
I mean, it sounds correct. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough, but
You know, hemp is one of the most effective growing plants in the world. That it's truly a weed.
It grows in anything.
And you go into the ropes and everything. It's actually way more efficient, way more practical to grow than cotton. You go into cotton
for
and
sure.
how it's all.
Dude,
but
it's
it's
like
just
a
been.
plant
It's
of
all
the
been
gods.
government
It literally
regulation
is.
between lobbyists and bullshit. And
crazy.
it's fucking insane.
yeah,
Why
better paper, better clothes. I mean, it has all the like.
doesn't need
114
pesticides, doesn't need a
cannabinoids.
bunch of fertilizers because it's able to survive off the specific nutrients of that soil, and it truly adapts itself naturally.
Yeah, no, it's an
It-
incredible plant, man. I'm all for it. But I mean, I take, dude. So like, sleep to me, I always am just playing around with. Like lately, I've been on this kick of.
I think it's cool
hot
that you
and
played
cold.
around. Yeah.
Hot and cold is another really one where like if you do like an ice bath and then a hot shower and then an ice bath and a hot shower.
See, that's what
like
we're-
rounds.
That's
dude,
what we're looking at. Yeah.
That's what
Dude,
we're about to do
sweet.
here. Is we're gonna put an infrared sauna and an ice bath in the backyard.
You're doing it infrared. I'm so fucking jealous, dude.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking cheap.
I know.
Oh, you don't. your place.
I mean, I have enough room in my place.
Well, you have
but
the room, but it's not your place.
I might be doing
like,
one of those. Have you seen they do an infrared sauna blanket? It's like $400, and there's a company that does actually a really legit one called like Higher Dose or something like that. It's $400. I feel like it's
you sweat your ass off under the blanket.
It's like it's not as gross as it sounds. Like I don't think
that's gross. Are you just gonna sweat your ass off?
Yeah, dude. You literally like. I mean, you climb in it. It's like a sleeping bag almost.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's fucking.
You know, and then you like lay it over the top of you, and you like your head sticks out.
You wash it or?
You can like wipe it down with like freaking Lysol or whatever. Maybe not Lysol, but some natural shit. You know.
I mean,
so
if it's only
natural shit.
Fuck Lysol.
Seriously.
Yeah, everyone's going crazy with this freaking Lysol shit, man.
Hand sanitizer. It's gonna fix everything.
What's your thing on the infrared hot to cold? Because we've heard both parts of it. You want to go straight to hot, meaning like hot tub temp.
Yeah.
Whereas infrared, but see, our argument is, dude, if you already have the infrared cranking at 195, 205, and you jump in it, but they're saying, oh, well, you don't break a sweat right away, or it's not instant hot.
Wait, are you saying
as you get out of
infrared
the
versus
cold.
like a barrel sauna?
Well, I'm talking about infrared
yeah.
to a hot tub for strictly hot to cold.
Oh.
If you're doing hot to cold methods, I've heard you want to go straight from one to the other, like polar opposites right away, whereas a sauna might take your body longer to warm up. You know, it's a slow warm up process.
So it's going from the sauna to the ice bath.
I mean, I think both is going to be. It's going to feel great. I think.
Right.
I think that the
I think saunas are better for you
Yeah,
anyway.
the
Saunas
benefits
are good
of the
for
sauna
you.
It
awesome,
cleans
man.
out all the fucking shit out of your pores. You
And
feel
like-
so much.
And the
A
infrared
sauna,
ones are fucking like
the
antibacterial.
Yeah, the infrared, but they're not going to get up above 160. So like having a
Really?
yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, so like an infrared sauna 160 is cranking, like because but like barrel saunas will go to like 220, 240.
Yeah.
So like I mean, I'm sure that there might be some out there, but if you look at like the clear light low EMF like good saunas like 158, if you can do 30 minutes at 158, like you're beast mode. Like I've done like I used to go to the sauna studios like here in Newport Beach, and it was goofy when my mom bought me a bunch of like during the bar to go like de-stress in the sauna. And dude, like
so this is interesting though too. It's saying 20% of the heat goes to heat in the air, and the other 80% of the heat from infrared goes directly into your body. So that's the another benefit of infrared. I didn't know
you
that.
don't really you don't need to be at that super high temperature.
Yeah, because it's going 80% of it's going into your body.
Yeah, it penetrates like deeper.
Yeah,
into like through your muscles and stuff.
Okay.
But like you cook like it's 200. You know, like I've been in a dry sauna at 200.
That's when you're cooking, dude.
Yeah, you go in an infrared at 180 or at 158, which is what like a lot of those will crank up to at their highest level.
Okay.
30 minutes in there, see if you can handle it, dude. The last 15 you are dying.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like not that. I mean, 158 it's not that hot, but like trust me, like the infrared, you just feel it. You feel like you're gonna fucking cook.
Yeah, you're just in an easy bake, fucking chilling.
So but that and then into the cold. I mean, dude, you get a couple rounds of that and you hit the.
How long do you sit in the ice bath? So you do it before sleep, or you just anytime during the day? What's up?
Typically, I'll do it like around 7.
Really?
You know, yeah.
Okay. You try and do it every day or like every other day?
Every other day, typically.
Every other day?
I mean, it depends on the day.
Yeah.
If like, yesterday I did that 10-mile run, I didn't get into the ice bath, which pissed me off. But then this morning I woke up and went in before work. So like, it just kind of depends on what the deal is.
And you're in there for a minute, 3 minutes?
Typically about 5.
5?
Yeah, 5 to 10, depending like on, I mean, 5 is normally like the
what's
one that
What's
I'm
your
drawing.
temp at? Your temp should be what, like 34, right? 35?
Yeah, 33, 34.
Okay.
And like it's super easy to make. I mean, you just need a chest freezer. And
I know, I see yours. That's how a lot of people do them. My
Dude,
dad,
so
I got my
easy.
dad into it when I was on Kauai, and he bought a fucking giant. He did it the most expensive way possible, honestly. He bought a $1,000 fucking Yeti, and he has an ice machine in his house. Right, he has all the fun toys.
Dude, I've
and he
seen
just
one like
dumps fucking 50 gallons of fucking ice in it every time he jumps in.
Yeah, that's
What temp do you keep yours at?
34.
Yeah, like 33,
34.
34.
Yeah, 33.
Yeah.
34.
32 and a half if I can get it there. But like that's the one where you're towing the line where it's like you'll come down one day and like the top is like frozen over.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, so you gotta like break the ice to get in it. So like I try to keep it like right in between where it's like 33 but it doesn't freeze over, and that's all that is just adjusting the time because it's on a timer.
Yeah.
So it's on like a outlet timer. So like it's just a chest freezer. So it'll turn on for like 4 hours in between like 1 and 5 a.m. So then by the time 5 rolls around, it's like ready to rock.
They actually make the freezer regulators for them too. They're
That's
like
what we're looking at. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, no, what we're going to end up doing is I'm actually going to end up putting it on a recirculation pump through a kegerator. It's in a location that just went belly up during all this shit.
Yeah.
But it's a 6-tap kegerator. It's like a 7-foot kegerator. And so I'm going to end up doing, it's like similar to like a wort chiller system. And so it's just a bunch of coils. And so I'm going to end up running that through a trough, and it's just running on a recirculation pump constantly through the refrigeration system.
That's dope. Yeah. I mean, that is like, I don't know how the fuck to do that. That would be super cool, though. Like, I would be super into that.
Actually, you know, fuck the DIY way. Yeah, no. What we're doing now is I'm going to build a fucking dank-ass one at Primo.
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Because all we do is deal with metal all day.
Yeah.
And so I could build a sick-ass stainless steel one. And
have you seen, like, look at, like, the,
what's up?
The something forge. God, what's it called? The Forge Ice Bath. Just type that in.
I feel like this is the one that the homies got.
Yeah, Morozco Forge, bro. This one is fucked. This one's like 15 grand. These people do it super crazy. But, like, this is that same shit.
Yep, that's the one homie has.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bro, he was telling us how much they spent on this, and me and Brandon looked at each other like, are you are you retarded?
It's like 15 grand, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I got mine for 180.
Well, so that's
yeah.
so I saw that and I was just like, oh, dude, I can make this shit so easily.
It just looks aesthetic. It's so
like,
cheap to make,
of
though. And
course.
there's
Make the
not
wood
much.
thing
Yeah.
then just drop.
You want one like that, dude? That trough itself, they use that in the meat.
For sure.
Like,
yeah, that's a freaking. I mean,
it's
the
a feeder.
original ice bath was like a freaking cow trough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are like so, and they're still pretty like good looking. I see a lot of people that just. But I was buying ice every weekend, and like it's $40, $50 a bag, or for.
See, that's why it made sense for my dad because he has a fucking ice machine.
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
sure.
yeah, if you got an ice machine, Dad, fucking just go buy a giant ass Yeti, and then it's multi-purpose.
Totally.
You know, fucking whatever.
Yeah, those Yetis are outrageously priced. So.
Okay, $3 grand. That's the one they had. $3 grand. Stainless. Fucking 18 grand, dude.
Yeah, that's
What?
fucking wild, man.
That's insane.
Who the fuck's buying
well,
$18,000 ice bath? Why is this 18 grand though?
Tub depth. Oh, length to depth.
These aren't even good photos or anything. How the fuck you saw an $18,000 tub?
Yeah, this company is bullshit. But
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But I would highly recommend you guys get that set up, dude. You guys, your life will be, you'll be loving it. Especially like you come back from a day of climbing or whatever, dude, and you jump in that thing. And I mean, even in the morning, like it just
gets your day started.
Yeah, I mean a cup of coffee and then right into that thing. You come out of that and you're just like
your body's warm,
ready to go.
Yeah, you just ready to go. And like actually the caffeine stimulates like the white fat to brown fat like capacity, which is. White fat is like the hardest fat for you to burn. It's like the fat that like you have around your waist, on the back, like typically in the back of the like legs, you know, like your cottage cheese, love handles. Yeah, exactly. And you know,
interesting.
That fat is hard to burn. Like you can't do it off like cardio and shit. So that's like if you take some caffeine and then you get in the ice bath, like
that's fucking
it literally get on a cellular level.
Infrared and sweat your ass off.
Exactly, or go for a run after the ice bath.
Like, I heard it's so good for your skin though too and shit, man.
Dude, the sauna, that's my next purchase for sure. It's one of those things where it's like I want the big ass one. Yeah. Which is like $6 or $7 grand, and I'm just like.
You talking about the 4-person?
Yeah, dude, the one you can do like fucking yoga in and shit.
Yeah,
like,
where you can get a quick workout in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the 2-people one is fucking $1,300. Yeah, this is the one, dude. This thing's sick.
So you've done hot yoga and stuff before, or you do it? That is my favorite thing. I feel great after that every time.
And then like a cold shower after. It's
exactly.
Fucking mental, dude. This big boy right here. Put the Medical 8 Plus.
Have you seen fucking?
It's only $1,000.
No, it's 10 grand.
Oh, 10 grand.
11 grand, really. That's a
you
badass.
Seen Laird Hamilton? They do those like crazy pool workouts.
Yeah.
He has like barrel sauna.
Yeah, Laird's on some next level shit.
He really is.
I have so many mixed reviews from that because my dad lives like 30 minutes from him.
Yeah. No, he's kind of kooky, but he's a wild man.
Yeah, I mean, he's figured out a lot of shit, and he's in amazing shape for his age. What is he? He's like fucking 57, I think, or something, or 58, and he's fucking cranking, dude. But yeah, there's some shit he does where I'm just like, what the fuck? I think he ice baths for like 15 minutes.
Dude, he does the fucking. He takes his assault bike, he puts it in the barrel sauna. You know the fucking assault bike.
Yeah.
And then he has it cranked up to 230 or 240. He has to wear oven mitts so that because the handles get so hot that's gonna burn your fucking hands off. And then he fucking cranks on that for like 15 or 20 seconds at 250, and then goes out and jumps in the ice bath, and then does rounds of that.
I bet that's
I would
insane,
pass out.
though,
Insane.
dude. I bet
Insane,
you feel so good. Talk about getting a quick heat up.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hot start, baby. Let's go.
That's fucking.
And they do those crazy pool workouts where, like, it started with them just carrying the rocks underwater, and now it's like the full-on like weights where they're bouncing off the ground and like doing.
See, I'm interested between him and a Wim Hof. Yeah, those two guys, man, they're making some revolutionary. I think.
Yeah.
They're bringing light to it. Wim Hof's crazy as fuck.
He is crazy, man.
But
and
you do his shit.
not
just
even
in an ice
like
bath, getting into it.
Yeah.
I've seen him do some shit, man, and some people that have done his shit that have gone swimming in like the
frozen lakes.
Yeah, no, and like fucking middle of what is it, like the Arctic Circle and shit.
Yeah.
They go free diving. A chick in her like one piece bikini.
Yeah.
And she's got the breathing shit.
Dude,
so
he
down.
climbed
She's
Everest
fucking,
in shorts.
Yeah.
And no
Did he do it
t-shirt.
barefoot too?
I don't think he did did he?
No, he takes
He
He
does
did
shoes.
something barefoot.
he takes people on the hike and
Yeah.
shit. The Smith brothers did it with him and learned all his technique and shit. That's why they're all fucking.
Yeah, he can
bulletproof
supercharge his
and all that
fucking
shit.
mitochondria like just through the power of his breath.
He can change.
He's
his
not even
temperature.
like a healthy dude either. Like he eats pizza and drinks beer and like he just
Really?
he did. I mean,
He just got his breathing down.
he just That's why he looks like a weathered motherfucker. He doesn't really look that healthy, but like he's like the ability of him to like he can literally change his immune system through his breath, which is pretty incredible.
That's insane.
And they've been able to test that stuff. He can like up his white blood cell count just through his breath.
Or his temperature, he can raise it
Temperature,
1 degree,
yeah.
lower it down another 2
Totally.
degrees. That's insane.
He like meditates out in the middle of the Arctic Circle for hours at a time, like just sitting on a fucking glacier or whatever the fuck is floating out there.
Fucking
Like,
naked, just
dude.
cruising.
The wild man, dude. A true wild man.
Yeah, literally.
He's one of those like innovators. But that shit is, I've been working with breath lately too, and it's pretty crazy like how you can manipulate like heart rate and everything just based on breath.
I use like a sleep app for like a hot second, and just doing like breathing shit before you go to sleep to help you get in like deeper sleep and stuff.
Totally.
It's just a pain in the ass, and then
Yeah.
all these apps want you to fucking pay money for them and shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking pay to fucking have someone tell me how to breathe and stuff.
Just do 4, 7, 8.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
the
that's I started looking up some shit and stuff,
Yeah.
but then also just like listening to like calming music and shit. But that's such a discipline and a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
dude,
I'm
breathing
like,
is a
dude,
bitch.
what?
It literally is free, and it's so like we do it all fucking day, but no one wants to do it because of how much of a bitch it is. You know what I mean? Like it's just like one of those extra steps, and that's why I've been trying to like tape
Like,
my
we do it,
mouth. I tape
yeah.
my mouth at night when I've been going to sleep lately. Like just really put
You're
tape.
taping your mouth while you sleep.
Yeah, so you nose breathe the whole night, and then I've been taping my mouth during like running and stuff.
I feel like
It's all
I feel like I wouldn't be able to go to sleep, and I'd fucking kill myself.
You'd rip it off in the middle of your sleep for sure.
Yeah, there was like one.
Oh,
I think
because
like
where
the
you
second.
are, fucking masks are required too. So you're just like, hey, I got a mask, motherfucker, or because I heard,
I'm running.
yeah.
No, that was just fine.
No,
I
and-
think people
well, I-
probably think that I'm like doing that because of mass, but
No,
I'm just doing it so I can teach my nose.
I have a couple buddies in Long Beach. They got a ticket the other day. They were swimming at the fucking beach, and they got out of the water, and a cop wrote them a fucking ticket.
for no mask.
$400.
Wow. Yeah, it's
400.
been fucking weird, dude. The
You
mask thing is
sleep
bullshit.
with tape on your mouth. That's
You're still
fucking
shook.
retarded. That's crazy.
Dude, there's like one of the first nights
What's
that
the
I
benefit
did it.
of that?
Let's try it out sometime.
Try it out, dude. I woke. I had like one nightmare where like
What kind of tape do you use?
someone stitched my mouth together in my dream.
Dude,
and then, like,
that's
I
what
woke
I'm
up-
saying.
I
I'd
woke
wake up
and
freaking, dude.
and then
Oh,
like I felt
gosh.
it, and it literally felt like my skin was together. But then I like realized like I kind of like got my bearings, and I was like, oh, it's just tape.
What
But-
kind of tape do you use?
Like it's like a
Like athletic
a
tape?
4M, yeah, basically like
Okay.
athletic, like waterproof tape. Yeah, dude. I
I
mean,
got some in my
so-
fucking drawer, boys.
try it. Nose
Tonight.
breathing, dude, is the shit. I mean, that like if you look at the amount of benefits you can get.
Imagine how
from nose
like
breathing.
perfect that is for like someone tried to kidnap you. They fucking go to kidnap you and your mouth's already taped. How
Yep.
fucking convenient.
Boom.
So
How convenient.
should I try that while climbing a multi-pitch route sometime and see what
Yeah.
happens? Like, would you recommend that?
I mean, dude, it's.
I do it bouldering. Multi-pitch, you need to talk. You can't talk with your fucking
that's
mouth
100%
taped.
right.
Well, that's
Okay,
true.
That's
I
true.
think, but like in terms of like
So, do it bouldering for sure.
calming, like you're gonna be in a much more like parasympathetic state if you're breathing through your nose.
Okay.
And if you look at someone like Harnold or like fucking, these guys that are doing, free soloing,
They're
like
not breathing through their mouth. Are
yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like his ability to like keep himself calm is like the difference between him dying or not,
Yeah.
And it's because if you panic, you're fucked.
they? Yep, 100%.
And like if you if you are panicking, like something's already gone wrong. You know what I
Nice.
mean? So like, I think that there's so much benefits to breathing through your nose because your nose, the nasal cavity is such an amazing like, just
Where your
design.
mouth, you can really control. Yeah, I totally,
Where-
totally with that.
Like, we were never supposed to breathe through our mouths. Like our mouths, it's just like
For
a
eating.
gaping hole that we just suck air into. Whereas like the nasal cavity, you literally are humidifying it. You're making it the perfect temperature. You're filtering it. Like all these different things that we just forget how to do that. You know, everyone breathes to their mouth because they're lazy.
Well, that's,
And also, and then honestly, because you literally start losing the ability to breathe through your nose if you don't do it. So like your nasal cavities literally like get smaller and smaller, and then if you're eating shitty food, then you're getting your nose is stuffed up, and you get inflammation, and then it's like this repetitive cycle. So next thing you know, you're like some fat person, like they can only breathe through their mouth because their nose is blocked up, and then the less you breathe through your mouth, the more your nose blocks up. So it's like this repetitive cycle, you know what I mean? But like you can literally like unblock your nose just by breathing through it. You just have to push it.
It's crazy how much like you gotta actually think about breathing through your nose.
I try to do it right now, and I started
Yeah.
breathing in my mouth immediately. 'Cause I like didn't
Nah,
think about
yeah, I
it.
just close my mouth. You gotta actually like think about breathing when you're breathing through your nose.
Totally, and
I
I've been
feel like
like,
I'd kill myself in my sleep.
Yeah, no, you'd be fine.
Your
Like
body won't
your
let you.
body switches over like pretty quickly. Like I mean, I was a huge mouth breather for a long time. Like anytime I was doing like
How funny is this
intense
conversation
exercises-
right now? Be like, you fucking mouth breathers.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
like a
that's right. It
diss.
was like a derogatory term for like people like rednecks and shit, you know.
Yeah.
But like when I was doing like intense exercise, I for sure was sucking wind through my mouth. And now I've really started switching
I know
over.
I do.
I
Yeah.
do for sure when I'm running and I run hard. I'm just like I start breathing through my mouth.
Totally.
It always ends up screwing your breathing up somehow.
For
And then
sure.
Next thing you know, you're like short of breath.
Yeah, and so I've been like trying to do like slower, obviously, because I can't run at like a good clip breathing through my nose. But I'll tape my mouth because then I'm forced to breathe through my nose. Whereas like if you don't tape your mouth and like you find yourself like sucking just even like a little bit through, you know, like. So that's what I'm experimenting with now.
Yeah, so for anyone listening, fucking tape your mouth shut and start breathing because we're a bunch of mouth breathers.
Yeah.
Sleeping,
Do
working
it.
out,
Do
all
it
of
while you're working out. Try it while you're working out. That's another thing too. Like
I will when COVID
you
ends,
literally,
dude.
yeah, you literally start doing like.
See, COVID wouldn't have happened if we were all fucking nose breathers.
Yeah, your nose is the
It
first
wouldn't
defense.
spread as fast.
It's a
Honestly,
fact.
That's what I'm saying.
100%. I mean, it would definitely like be better than wearing a fucking cloth mask that
Yep.
you've been wearing for the last 2 weeks. You
Your
know?
nose
It's,
is like a natural
full of
mask.
shit.
Dude, I'm
almost.
literally just gonna walk into a
Bro,
store with my fucking mouth
fucking
taped.
Mariano. Oh
What?
my gosh, you missed this fucking story of a lifetime today.
Damn it.
This dude works for us from Honduras. Nicest fucking dude you could ever meet in your life. Super, super against masks.
Yeah.
Anti-mask.
He talks about all this shit going on compared to him growing up in Honduras and all the breakdowns, and he's like, I've seen all this shit happen once in my life, and I don't want to see it happen again. But he walks into he said he walked in the laundromat yesterday, go to his laundry. He goes, these fat fucking bitches, man. I fucking walk in there, and next thing you know, they say, you're fucking disgusting, you're not wearing a mask. And he goes, I have one thing to say to you, bitch.
That's
he said he
great.
gave him a double fuck
Dude,
you,
if you knew
grabbed his
who-
shit, turned around, and left.
If
you
you
knew
knew who
this
this
guy.
was, dude, he's like, what, he's 60, huh?
Yeah.
He's 60 years
Super
old,
calm.
dude. Fucking dopest guy ever. But he'll troll you so hard. He's so
Oh, yeah.
funny.
Did you see that fight that happened in Manhattan Beach? That chick threw the coffee on
Yes.
that fucking person for not wearing a mask.
Yes, I did.
Some dude.
I just saw a fight though earlier
some
today.
bitch
And,
literally threw hot coffee on some dude because he wasn't wearing a mask, and
He was
then
eating too.
Yeah,
I
he's
would've
eating a
fucking
burrito.
cracked the bitch.
yeah,
I'm not
and
gonna
he was like a
Cracked her
local.
boyfriend.
Yeah, he
Really?
cracked
Yeah.
her boyfriend.
Oh,
dude,
hell yeah.
And he's all bleeding, and then the boyfriend's like just some like weak ass like Chad fool,
Yep.
you know, like
Some Chad.
you know, like in some
100%.
fucking white shirt, you know, like buttoned up white shirt, and like he's just like, I'm bleeding out of the face, like, please, this guy just assaulted me, like, he's just a loser. I'm like, bro, you serious? Like, your chick just threw coffee, like, that was coming, you know?
Yeah.
And then to call
Thank
the
your
cops,
chick. Yeah,
like,
thank your
you
chick.
just,
Cops didn't do anything. They
Yeah.
came there. The one guy had body cam footage of the whole thing. Cause I forgot he had it because he's a Trump supporter. That's what his reason was, and he
Yeah.
doesn't want to get into shit. The cops didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They were like, nah, you can't be throwing coffee
They were
on
like,
people
nah,
and doing that.
Yeah, no, that's instantly
You
assault.
deserve to
so,
get slapped. What
Yeah.
the fuck are you talking about?
Totally.
I saw a gnarly one earlier, dude, and it was this guy was right outside of a bar, and these kids, they were a bunch of skater kids, and they're talking tons of shit to these like older people. They're probably like our age, honestly, anywhere from our age, right? And this guy just fucking cracks a skater kid, and he's like 16 apparently. Fucking drops this motherfucker. And the friends that are a little bit older get in his face and like, bro, what are you fucking doing? He's 16, and the kid was talking mad shit. I'm like, fuck him. You don't know how old people are nowadays. You know what I mean? And
you hit him with your fucking skate truck though.
no, okay, so this is what happens, bro. So he ends up getting smoked. So he cracks another one of them, okay. And then he tries to crack another one, but the other one didn't go down. The other two, like, literally went down. But the last guy he tried to fuck with, like, fucked him up. Like, no lie. He didn't fall over and then pushed him on the ground. And the kid who he originally cracked wasn't knocked out. Fucking skateboard over the head, straight to the face. Fucking dude slept on the fucking concrete, bleeding all over his shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn. I was like, that's crazy. But it's all filmed and everything. Like, you see full-blown just skate truck to the fucking grill.
Dude, they
And it
killed
was
these fucking skaters in
Murdy.
LA. They killed a fucking security guard.
I saw that, I think.
No, this was years ago though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This was
like,
one of the recent things.
This was in Chinatown, and they fucking like they used to have these dorks that would like ride around on like in purple shirts on bikes in Chinatown back when we were skating. And sure enough, like Chinatown used to be like this own little like segment of downtown Los Angeles, and they would go and like they would write you tickets or whatever, and they fucking jumped this dude on a security guard like on a bike and beat the fuck out of him and literally killed him. Like same deal, like truck to the back of the head, like.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And so,
But you got to be insane to fucking hit someone with a skateboard to me.
Yeah,
Why
but
are you
it happens
hitting,
all the fucking time.
Why are you hitting people with
Of
like
course.
essentially a weapon?
Yeah,
You know,
but
that's
it's like
pretty
little
gnarly.
fucking shit kids, Like I mean, I
They just don't
I
think.
never hit
They
anyone
don't
with
think.
a skateboard, but I talk so much shit to fucking like security guards and stuff
Oh,
like
for
that.
sure.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And like, so I mean, I
Hitting someone with
probably
a skateboard,
I
that's
was
pretty gnarly.
probably pretty close to doing it a few times. Like I maybe would have, but I didn't.
What about Murdy? Like, you ever hear about that thing
The
growing up?
screwdriver one?
And a skateboard, too, both of them. So one
Well,
kid with a screwdriver.
The guy went after the kids with
the
a screwdriver, and
yeah.
the kids fucking jumped him with the skateboards because he went after some kid with a screwdriver and tried to fucking
It was
stab
like a
him.
crackhead,
And the
dude.
kid just beat the shit out of him with the skateboards. I would do the same as
Yeah,
I
I know
think.
for
Trust
sure.
me.
Yeah.
Someone
If
comes
it's
at me with a
weapon on
screw-
weapon, though, for sure.
I'm in a
That's a
different
different-
situation,
Yeah,
but
The dude's already on the ground, like knocked, like, and you hit him over the head with a board. That's bad.
Fucked up.
Yeah, the truck is that's
Kill
a bad
someone
one.
really fast with
For
one hit.
sure.
And you don't really realize it till they're fucking dead, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
no,
well,
what
I
the
did
fuck?
that.
Like,
you're
and
like,
they
oh
eat-
shit, and then
Yeah.
someone's calling you, and you're like, well, guess where you're going?
Yep.
Bye.
Guess we're all paying for it. Thank you. Thanks for fucking hitting that guy. Appreciate it. That's gnarly. Damn, dude. I mean, we'll call it. Like, everyone looks like fucking tired and shit.
do it,
I
man.
appreciate you fucking cruising
Oh,
over this
yeah.
late, and hopefully everyone enjoyed this second segment of the podcast. We'll tune out. Catch you guys next week. Yeah, everyone go follow Justin Peters. I don't know his Instagram, but so everybody go follow him. I forgot exactly what his
Yeah.
Insta username is.
Yeah,
Justin
Justin
Peters.
Peters, 2 R's, 2 S's on the Peters. So
Bingo. I'll throw it in the. It'll be in the description, guys. Go follow this guy. He's insane.
He's the man.
He's the man. Right on. Later.
later.
hell yeah, that was fun, man.
Yeah, that was rad.
That was a rant. I don't know what the fuck we. That just,
Dude, we talked
you
about
just-
so much shit.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Was it 2.5? I don't think it was. Was it that long?
I don't know.
Perfect time to say.